APR on select Harleys. Grand opening discounts on boots, helmets, shirts, and apparel.
Don't take chances with your brakes. Find out why Oriskany Garage is a top-rated destination for auto repair in the Utica area. Oriskany Garage delivers friendly professional service, great prices, and a commitment to never, never try to sell you something that you don't need. For brakes, tires, funny noises, warning lights, or any of your auto repair needs, come and experience award-winning service at Oriskany Garage down the street from Utica College or online at ogtire.com. Come on and say it with me and make the noise. ogtire.com.
Hi, this is Jason Hansen. I'm a former CIA officer and best-selling author on safety and preparedness. The fact is, things are getting downright scary for everyone who's storing their wealth in the banks. We just saw the collapse of 3 major banks, and I would urge you to consider protecting your wealth ASAP. If even a tiny percentage of Americans attempt to withdraw their savings, we would see a collapse of the entire banking system, sending us into a modern-day Great Depression. Fortunately, there is a way for you to avoid this. It starts with contacting Advantage Gold. If you have an IRA or 401k, Advantage Gold can help convert those paper assets into physical gold and silver. This is the process that I recommend everybody use as a hedge against rapid inflation and to protect your retirement wealth from the banks. Take control of your financial safety today. Call 800-900-8000 to get your free gold investment kit from Advantage Gold. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Call 800-900-8000.
Are you a licensed master social worker with a passion for making a difference in the lives of others? Do you have a desire to work in a supportive and compassionate environment? If so, Hospice and Palliative Care may have the perfect opportunity for you. They are currently seeking a licensed master social worker to join their team. As a hospice social worker, you'll provide emotional support, counseling, and resources to patients and their families during a difficult time in their lives. You will work with their clinical team to develop and implement care plans, advocate for the patient's needs, and ensure that they receive the highest quality care. At Hospice, they believe that everyone deserves compassionate and dignified end-of-life care, and they are committed to providing their patients the support they need during this challenging time. To learn more about this exciting opportunity, visit their website at hospicecareinc.org or call today.
Hospice and Palliative Care. When you need us most.
Are you considering buying an electric vehicle or a plug-in hybrid? Wouldn't it be nice to just fuel up at home with an EV charging station? Potentia is helping to make the convenience of charging easier for your home and your business. As a leader in green electrical projects, Potentia has completed hundreds of large sustainable commercial projects across New York State and are now getting into the residential market. No more stops at the gas station. Charge at home conveniently and economically. With New York State's zero emissions mandate by 2035, Potentia can help design, supply, even install residential and commercial EV charging systems at your home or your business. From permitting and design through the complete installation, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3 with a turnkey EV charging solution with various packages and options available. They guarantee your satisfaction with all their products and their workmanship. Visit Potentia at 4685 Middle Settlement Road, New Hartford. Give them a call at 315-765-6184 or view their website at potentiamanagement.com.
Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, no matter how many times I've washed it.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in 1 wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products. Save on Downy Rinse and Refresh at Target.
It's time to start the program. It's time to earn our pay. It's time to meet the people on the Keeler Show today. It's time to read the news and weather. Time to figure out what to say. It's time to turn the channel of the Keeler Show today. Why do we always listen? Keeler's always in the know. It makes me want to call him and tell him where to go. And now let's get things started. Andrew, let's get things started. It's time to get things started on the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational. This is what we call the Keeler Show.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Well, some dense fog out there this morning, and it's really dense, like you can't see in front of you. What a shock when I walked into the studio this morning, only to find Stefan Rubitsky sitting in here, rolling up to the microphone, dressed up in his Islanders gear and Mets gear. And good morning, Stefan.
Good morning, Bill.
I know Manaski made this call because he called me yesterday and said, "Can I come in?" And I'm like, I don't know. I think Manaski said because you got yourself into a little pickle, if we will, here. That the Manaski said you couldn't come in, but you apparently are a softie there, Manaski.
Well, I'm on a string of bad calls here, so.
Okay, all right. Yeah, Stefan, yeah.
Good morning, bud. Look, I've told Stefan, and I mean it, man. Look, we love when you come in. We love, going out to lunch with you and stuff. And sometimes Stefan and I maybe hang out a little bit because, he'll call me up. He said, "Hey, are you out and about? I need some food." And I'll come pick him up, and we'll go grab some food. But I can't do it, man, if you're getting yourself in trouble. You know what I mean? So you just got to stop doing that, and everything will be great. Okay?
I haven't in a little while.
Yeah, it's been like you're on a huge streak of 3 days. I mean, you're killing
so keep it up. Keep it up, please.
Thank you.
Oh, boy. Okay, we have a lot of things that are developing here. A few interesting little items. We mentioned that the train station in Utica will be shut down for the filming of the television series Succession. And Buckley is fine. Now, he yelled at me pretty hard yesterday. He came at me hard.
About what?
I can't tell you anything, he said. And you reveal it. And the reality is, Buckley wouldn't tell me. I found out on my own. And he said, "Oh, I thought I told you." And I'm like, "No, you remember being on the air? You wouldn't tell us."
Right, he wouldn't say. We had a guest in also that day. I forget who it was.
Here's the problem. Paul forgets who he tells. And then tells people he forgets that he's not supposed to tell. I mean, it just becomes a whole thing. It's like the liar. The liar is good right up until he can't remember which lie he told to which person. Or did I tell them the truth, right? I mean, that's what has happened here.
Yeah, that's
it's absolutely true. Lying. Yeah. A couple things also. Eugene Levy, love that guy. And they have all those tongue-in-cheek, usually television series or movies. He was the father in American Pie. Do you remember?
Oh, yes. Okay, yeah. When you said the name, I wasn't.
His son did Sheots Creek. I don't think it's a problem to say it the way it's supposed to be said, but the FCC. Mm-hmm. And he was in that too, and that's a great series. Love his humor. Eugene Levy was in Syracuse at Possibilities. Just was driving through. They're from Canada, so I wonder if he was coming down from Canada, making his way back into New York, and decided to just stop off in Syracuse and eat at Possibilities. That was pretty cool. Arnold Schwarzenegger was at... No, that's not true.
I was like, wow.
Yeah. He was just in Canada on his way down from a weightlifting show. That's not true. And then what else did I want to hit on that I was going to get into? Train station, Eugene Levy. We have a Herkimer Village story that broke late yesterday. We'll talk about that. Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers Wanted Person of the Week. We'll get into. And Cameron Decker. This is an update on the. I call him the kid who goes around luring creepy people into his little web of darkness, and he exposes them. Yes. So he'll go on the web and pretend to be a 13-year-old girl or a 13-year-old boy, get online. And I'm telling you, we did this 25 years ago when AOL had you were within AOL. It's a safe community inside America Online.
You got mail.
You didn't go out to the World Wide Web, but you could chat back and forth. And the minute you'd come on and claim to be a 14 or 15-year-old, you would be bombarded by messages coming in from guys, adult males, ready to show off their. In fact,
oh boy,
yeah. In fact, Cameron, one thing I'm going to tell him when he comes in today: don't go sending me your files, your folders anymore.
Yeah,
I don't want to see.
I don't want that either. Yeah,
because he sent me. He said we got a guy up in Lowville, and he's got pictures and all this stuff. And he said here's a Google Drive folder. You can check out some of the chats. I open the thing up, and it's not just chats, but it's
what
pictures, and I just don't want to look at that crap.
You're a teen male.
You can't unsee it, and now it's on my computer.
Correct.
That's not good.
Correct.
Don't send me that stuff.
But we'll talk with Cameron. It's been a while, right?
It has. He's been. He travels the country luring in pedophiles.
So I'm wondering.
And someday, I fear Cameron, and I've told him this. Someday, one of those accused pedophiles is going to also be a gun owner.
Well, and it's been some time since I've looked him up on YouTube, but I remember when I did when he was on for a while there, doing some investigations locally, that there was an incident involving an individual in a pickup truck who kind of stopped on the road and then put the truck in reverse and was kind of chasing him down.
Yeah.
So, yes, he has to be careful. Yeah.
Last night, let me get into the news stories that we have because we have we have a lot today. Last night, by the way, we're up on the app. You can check us out there. Search WIBX 950 in Google Play or the App Store. You can search for us on YouTube Live. There's actually a photo of us here, a live video here in the studio. It will get better. I'm working on it. It'll get better, but it's pretty darn good right now.
Yeah, I think so.
The quality is really good.
And matter of fact, if you tune in this morning, you'll see me hobbling around.
We're going to talk about Manaski's issues
coming up.
He umped last night, and things didn't go well. Okay, some stories that are out there. So anyway, you search on YouTube, search Keeler live stream, and it'll come right up, and you can message us back and forth on there too. Okay, in Herkimer, last night I received a news release from the current. I don't know if I say her name correctly. Viscomi?
I think it's Viscomi.
Viscomi?
Yeah.
Amanda Viscomi, who is the acting village clerk in Herkimer. And she put out a release that is targeting the former mayor, Mark Nettie, who I also spoke with last night. And what she claims is this. During COVID, she says that Nettie failed to pay an $811 water bill.
Okay.
But instead of, so apparently the rules for everybody else in the village of Herkimer, if you don't pay your water bill, they'll roll it over into your tax bill. So it'll be re-levied and put into your tax bill.
Okay, so I'm sorry. $811 wasn't the penalty? That was what the bill was?
It was a water bill. It sounds to me, I don't know what their water rate is, but that sounds to me like it could be 2 quarters.
Okay.
I don't know. I get our water bill is usually around $300-400.
Ooh. I guess it's different. I mean, I live alone.
Well, I have a leaking hot tub. So, I throw the hose in, put more water into it. And someday we'll stop the leak because it's really leaking funds right now. That's what it's leaking. Anyway, so $811.
Okay.
And instead of rolling it over into the tax bill, the current clerk says it was forgiven. And it happened, she says, while he was mayor. So while other people may not have had their water bill forgiven, I can't imagine they did. In this case, they were like, well, Mayor, we're going to forgive yours because you're the mayor. So Viscomi conducted an investigation and then reached out to the former mayor, who she says back on whatever the date was, that he immediately paid $810.92.
On March 14th of 2023.
Okay, there we go. So he paid that bill, but then she said she discovered even more. She claims that she found further irregularities between June of 2020 and December of 2021. Remember, Mehdi was mayor up until June of 2022, June of last year. According to her release, she said that it appears that he received benefits. So basically, there were late fees. And I don't know what the total of dollars we're talking about here, but late fees that he owed. And again, the average resident would have to pay these late fees, or I guess it would be looped up into the tax bill and re-levied. She's saying that those tax or those late fees were forgiven while he was mayor.
Okay, so
I just want to say that Nettie, speaking to him last night, couldn't say much, but said it's false, and he has denied any wrongdoing. He said he was forced to avoid any additional comments until he had the opportunity to speak with his attorney.
And again, full details on this on our website here, and this is where I'm reading from. In June 2020, the state declared a moratorium on water bill charges, which banned late fees during COVID. Water departments were ordered to notify customers in writing of this benefit. However, the village records showed no such notice was sent to the village's 2,800 water customers. According to Viscomi's release, Mayor Nettie then signed an agreement to avoid late fees. It appears he received the benefit from June 30th, 2020 through April 23rd, 2023, allowing him to avoid late fees for over 2.5 years. I guess my question is, according to the state order, the waiver should have ended December 22, 2021.
So the waiver was they couldn't collect late fees. I don't know what all of this does, and it does. Her release doesn't say how much money she's talking about. But what she is saying is that he may have given himself special benefits, if you will, that other residents may not have received. Now, in speaking with him this morning, he said that he's been advised by his attorney to make no comments at this point. So I just heard from the former mayor. So there's been a lot going on in Herkimer. Like I'm getting, I get letters every once in a while. Usually, they're the old-fashioned way in the mail. Usually, the letters don't have, there's a fake name on there. But the current mayor, who is Sherry, what is it? I have a hard time keeping track over there. The current mayor, I'm looking it up. It's in the story. I just can't find it. Anyway, that she's being recalled, or they're trying to do a recall there. So there is a battle going on between two sides in the village of Herkimer.
Dana Sherry.
Dana Sherry. Sorry about that, Mayor. My apologies. Although we've asked to have her come on, and we've not gotten anywhere. I have an unbelievable story too about a Gannett lawsuit that is based out of Rochester, where the Democratic Chronicle has been sued. And it's a very interesting story because it includes the Observer-Dispatch. And I'll get into that coming up as well here in a few minutes. Also, the GOP primary, an update on the GOP primary with Tanya Powers in a few minutes. First of all, we have to figure out why Manaski is limping. You're in rough shape today.
Yeah, I'm a little... All right, so I had a baseball game last night.
For those who don't know, Jeff has become an ump. He's an umpire and official. You were doing a modified game last night.
Yes, so the field was a little slick, right? It had rained a bit in the afternoon, but fortunately, at some point during the game, a couple points during the game, the sun came out. It was still a little chilly, but they were able to get the game, and we played. And long story short, there was a kid stealing third base. I'm on the infield. It was my first game that I wasn't behind the plate. I was just in the infield, and I kind of moved my position. You know, I'm going over to make the call on third. I plant my feet. It's a slick ground, and boom.
You went down.
Rolled my ankle.
In front of people.
Oh, in front of a lot of people,
okay.
yeah.
sure they loved that.
They probably did. And so I missed the call. Ultimately, the call had to be made by the home plate umpire because I did not see it. I saw the runner approaching the base. As I planted, I saw the third baseman readying for a incoming throw. But like I said, I rolled my ankle, and then the other foot went out from under me, and boom. So I'm kind of hobbling around this morning because it was as a matter of fact, the guy I did the game with said, I've seen people break a leg or an ankle doing something like that because it got caught up under me.
You also say you had a very difficult game.
Yeah. How do I say this? They tell you to pause when we're instructing you and learning how to be an umpire. Don't rush the call, okay?
So if it's going through your head on which way do I go on this.
Yeah.
Don't feel the pressure.
Think about what you saw.
Think about what you're gonna. Okay.
Then make the right call. So there was a play where, it was an infield ground ball. Kids running down the first base line. The ball's in the dirt. First baseman actually did a nice job to scoop it up out of the dirt.
Yeah.
But as his glove came up, the ball comes free and goes straight up into the air. Now I'm watching the play and. As he picked it, again, this was my mistake, I start to make the safe signal. Or I start to make the out signal. Timeout.
You don't have to call timeout here, Jeff, just on the field.
I start to make the safe signal.
You're mixing the two professions.
I started to make the safe because I see he scooped the ball, but then it goes straight up in the air. Well, the runner was still coming down the line, and the ball comes back down now into the glove just a stride before the runner gets to the base.
Before he crosses. Okay,
and
so that's an out.
It is an out.
Yeah.
But again, I'm watching. Nice pick. Oh, ball goes up. Oh, right. I'm not pausing to process.
Did you see where his foot was as the ball is in the air?
Yeah.
And then it came down, so you saw all this.
I saw this. But again, I'm already mid-motion for the safe call. So I make the safe call, and I might have even verbally said, oh, like that. And I immediately said, time. I pointed to the home plate umpire. I said, Tuck, come down here. I need your help. I said, I believe I missed that call. I went too quick. I said, he got the ball before the kid got to the bag. And he goes, yeah, he did. That's what it looked to me. I said, so overrule me. And he said, okay, batter's out. So, and that was, so it was great.
Well,
we got the call right.
That's not bad.
We got the call right.
Yeah.
So, but on the ankle, I ended up going to urgent care.
Did people say you suck and stuff like that?
No.
Oh, they didn't. Not at all.
No, I know.
Can't wait for the first time you get that. That'll be the time where somebody starts screaming at you. That's
you don't care if I got the call right. You just want me to be harassed.
I just want to hear the harassment stories.
So I ended up going to the urgent care for an examination on the ankle. They told me I was going to have to be fitted with a cast for my pride, but otherwise I should be okay.
That's funny.
I did not go to urgent care. I was just trying to slide that little joke in there. But,
all right. Okay.
I'm a little sore and swollen this morning, more so than I was last night. That typically happens once you take the shoe off or the boot off.
Sure. Yeah.
And then, I obviously slept through the night, so I'm a little stiff and sore this morning, but I'll be okay.
A couple things related. Mike says, I thought Jeff may have gotten hit by the T-ball stand. Actually, you're doing modified now.
Modified, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Regarding the Gannett lawsuit, I wonder if they're getting sued because they ran a story that was less than 5 days old. We'll get into the lawsuit coming up in a second. It's a good one. Staying with baseball, this is in Sports Illustrated, the headline, Major League Baseball fans rightfully ripped ump for this laughably bad called strike. Being a home plum, so it happens even at the major league level.
It does. Everybody makes mistakes.
Brian O'Nora made on Tuesday night's Marlins-Braves game. They say it was a horrible call. O'Nora, who has long been considered one of the worst umpires in all of baseball, added another embarrassingly bad wrong call that cost one of Atlanta's players during an at-bat in the fourth inning. It cost that player. But that wasn't the only bad call O'Nora made in the game. He missed an astounding 17 calls on the night, which only adds to his reputation of being not very good at his job. And when you see the replay, it is not only bad, but Sports Illustrated describes it as being a pathetic call. And it is.
I have a screenshot here.
So you're not alone, is what I'm trying to say.
Hey, Stefan, what do you think? And here we go, guys. We'll have our two guests in studio. What do you think? How bad is that?
That's pretty far outside.
Yeah. It's in the other batter's box.
Yeah. That's called a strike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a bad call.
Yeah, Stefan's upset about it too.
Stefan's really mad.
I just want to say, and I guess I'm only noticing this now because I'm learning how to do the umpire.
Are
thing.
you now going to defend the umpire? Because it's a tough job.
No.
This is hard.
All right. So, how did you describe him, Brian O'Nora?
Well, they described him in Sports Illustrated as not good at his job.
Not good at his job.
Yeah.
I've never seen a story where I missed a call and they said, Bill Keeler, who is a renowned, excellent umpire, missed one here. They always say everyone knows he's a bad ump.
Well, they're saying
we get a bad reputation. Come on.
In this game alone, after analyzing the game, 17 blatant missed calls.
Now, that's rough.
That's a lot.
That's very rough.
I would say when that actually warrants the statement, get your eyes checked, right?
Yeah, but I'm just saying that story never goes, and everyone was shocked
It's
because
true.
this guy always gets the call right.
Yeah, you're right.
They never say that.
Yeah.
Poor umpires.
Are you following the story on Bud Light? And so Bud Light came out, and I guess I had a conversation with my son about this, who I have to say, this stuff, while the drag queen stuff and the Bud Light and trans stuff is, people are up in arms over it that are usually over the age of 50. When you look at the younger demographic, and I'll ask Devin, who's an intern, he's a student at Utica College. Do you care
University?
Do you care about any of this stuff?
I don't. I've seen some people. I've had some people make comments to me about it, and I'm like, I'll drink Bud Light. I really don't care.
I think the younger demo doesn't care, and they are more acceptable when it comes to this, which would certainly make sense, right? But anyway, so no matter where you are on this, I've seen it. I've actually witnessed somebody at a bar being basically demeaned because he bought a Bud Light. And it was a pretty cool-looking guy. Like, number one, so what do I determine as cool? Seemed sporty, was well-dressed, and taller than me. To me, that person must be cool. So this cool guy orders a Bud Light, and people begin to harass.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
They start chirping at him.
Yeah, like give me a break. I can't even believe he would order a Bud Light, but to say it loudly
so he can
hear it.
Mm-hmm.
So all of a sudden, he took his beer and he made an exaggerated drink, basically into space, looking up and drinking his beer. Put it down. You heard the clank. Correct. You heard the clank of the bottle on the bar, and he said, "I don't give it something like I don't give an F. What I drink. I don't care. These people want to do something. It has nothing to do with me. I don't care. I'm still drinking my Bud Light." So this is the person that is dedicated to Bud Light and doesn't care. And now, probably in his 30s, late 30s, early 40s.
Okay.
Now, my son was like, number one, I don't care. I don't care what somebody else is doing. It doesn't matter to me. My son is 30 now. We'll be 30. It doesn't matter to me. Of course, he's in Denver, and Denver's very liberal. But it doesn't matter. I think it's a demographic when you look at the numbers. Doesn't matter to me. I don't care what somebody else does. So they used a trans person in an ad. I would like to say to Budweiser, what are you thinking? You know your audience. It's probably not a bunch
trans
of
community.
The trans community, right?
It's probably sporty, tall men.
And maybe they're
right?
trying to that's right. Maybe they're trying to add to their, broaden their
base,
their reach and their base. Either way, but my son, of course, is that generation. I don't know if you, Devin, are a big beer drinker. Do you like beer?
Yes, I do.
Do you like craft beer?
I don't know the difference. I just drink beer.
Okay. All right. What is your beer of choice?
I love a nice Utica Club from the draft.
Okay. UC is a really good beer, and so my son has become kind of a beer snob. Like, and I don't mean to call him that, but he knows beer and enjoys craft beer and tries all of these. We'll go to a store that has specialty beers, and in some cases, I look on the shelf, I'm like, they're selling a bottle of beer for $75? You've got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
But, that's that market. And his statement was, I don't care what they're doing with the trans world. I don't care about drag queens. I don't care about any of this. But who in their right mind would drink Bud Light anyway?
I was going to say, I thought that might be his feeling.
That's his take on it. So I don't know. But now here are the numbers. So this is all that really matters. I don't care where you are on this. However, I will stand up for anybody who's being harassed at a bar because of what drink they ordered.
Yes.
I have no tolerance for that garbage, and shut your mouth. Drink your drink, which is probably stupid, too.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I have a thought on
Who
the
would
age
drink
divide,
that?
but I know you want to make a point here on this, on the breakdown.
No, go ahead quickly.
Well, it's just, I think you find it in the older demographic, and I don't say this to excuse, anybody can do whatever they want, but I also think you can feel however you want, and I think part of it comes down to this. For somebody 55, 60 years old, and maybe you can attest to this more than I can.
Why? Because I'm 57.
Right. Well,
wait a minute. I'd be 58. Okay, go ahead.
It's just that I feel like for most of your life, socially, publicly, it was shamed. The cross-dressing, if you will.
Being
right.
Yeah, you're right. When I grew
being
up,
a man who thinks I'm actually a woman, or a woman who says I'm actually a man,
no doubt
it
about
was it was diagnosed as a mental health condition.
Yes.
So I think when you go through the first 40 years or 45, 50 years of your life, and they say this is not socially acceptable, and this person has a mental disorder, and then 5 years later they go, this is our spokesperson for our beer, and it's
right.
And you're wrong if you don't publicly accept them. I think some people have a hard time accepting
I am not in disagreement at all.
Yeah.
However, shut your mouth.
Again, I don't.
Right? I mean, somebody's walking up to a bar and they're ordering a drink. You shut your mouth. I mean, after they walk away, you want to say something, I guess. But what do you care what somebody else is doing?
Yeah, that's what I don't get.
But where? Why do we care so much about what other people are doing? It blows my mind. And no, you're right. I don't understand completely. But I try to at least be tolerant of other people. And I know my space. It really kind of ends at the tip of my nose, doesn't it? Come on. Let's stop caring about what other people are doing. Now, you don't want to buy. If you don't want to buy
somebody else,
you don't want to buy Bud Light. Don't buy Bud Light.
Right.
But don't harass the guy that walks up to the bar to buy it. I mean, just shut up. That's my take on it.
I know we got to get to Tanya. It was the same thing with gay marriage, right? I mean, we saw this
We went through
15
this 10 years
ago. It
Yep,
was
yep.
you're going to hell. It's not socially acceptable. And then they said, well, actually, there was a change in society, and it was a struggle for a lot of people for the first decade.
I just want to tell you that the numbers for Bud Light right now are slightly down. It's not that they haven't been hit that badly, but what they're seeing is some of their other brands, like their seltzers and some of the other stuff. That is because it's Anheuser-Busch. People are protesting the other way by buying Anheuser-Busch products because they want to say, well, if you're going to boycott Bud Light, I'm going to drink their whatever beer or their seltzer or something like that.
By the way,
so the numbers are not that bad.
Jimmy Fallon said they ought to rebrand the company as Tranheiser-Busch. That was
I heard that. Okay, Tanya J. Power is standing by right now on the line here. Tanya, these are the things we deal with. All of a sudden, we're in a whole culture war thing that is just consuming everybody's minds these days.
Well, I hate to tell you it's not sudden, but
you're right.
Yes,
it's a very good point.
You are correct.
Yeah.
That is exactly what's going on there.
Yeah. Okay. You've been following along on the GOP and their primary debates. Did I hear it right by with President Trump saying he might not participate in the debates?
Yeah, I mean, this is something we've heard from him before.
He did say it before. Yeah.
Kind of been, like, okay, well, I'm just not going to come to your party, so to speak. That is something that he actually did end up doing in early 2016. If you'll remember, there was a debate in Iowa, and I remember this well because I was there.
Right.
And there were 1,100 Republican candidates on stage. I'm kidding. There was, 16 at
it was
maybe
big.
17
Yeah.
at the time.
Yeah.
And he was not among them. He had said, he wasn't going to show up, and then, didn't. He did not participate in it. Had his own separate rally, which also there was a lot of headlines about that, a lot of follow up on that as well. So yeah, I mean, it's not, he's done this not just then, but other times before. Even when he was president, he said, well, I just might not debate. I may not do that at all.
Well, and part
So
of that was all
shocking.
about the fact that people. He was like a ratings magnet, whether you loved him or hated him. People, when he was in the debate, the numbers were big, and he was implying that if I'm not there, nobody will watch. He would imply that.
Yeah, I think that's kind of been his. That's been his opinion the whole time, and you're right about the fact that whenever people put him on TV or radio or whatever, I mean, it's either people who love to watch him or people who love to hate watch him. It's
right.
You get both crowds. So yeah, it is going to be interesting to see if he actually continues through with it. The RNC said they're already. They've been making plans for these debates. I know we have the one Fox has the one in August. There's another one later in the year as well. So, I know everybody's already still planning, to hold the debates. It's not like, if he doesn't show up, it's not like they won't have it. They'll still have candidates who can debate. And, as we saw yesterday, the field is widening, every day, seems like. So.
Yeah, it is going to be. This is going to be very interesting, and what a flashback we're going to have! What a flashback to the debates that occurred nearly 4 years ago.
Yeah, I mean it's
it's
setting up to be quite an interesting little political season.
It would be closer to 8 years ago, right, when they had so many of those candidates. It was just crazy.
Yep.
Okay, interesting stuff, Tanya. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Sure, thank you.
Tanya J. Powers from Fox News.
I don't think this is, and to be honest with you, I don't think it's appropriate, even at the local level, unless you have, this is open to interpretation, unless you have a candidate who is way off the rails, where you'd say, I don't want to dignify this, or I don't want to give this person the time of day. But I think he should be up on that stage. I think the other candidates should have the opportunity to put their views against his views. I think it makes voters more informed, more educated on who most closely identifies with their beliefs or their values.
And I think what he's doing right now is not as much, although he'll say it, no one will watch if I'm not at the debate. What he's basically trying to do now is saying, I'm above all of these other candidates.
Correct.
So I may not even lower myself to debate with them, because anything that I do will actually benefit them.
Further,
I have everything to lose, nothing to gain.
Yeah, I don't really buy that. I don't buy that for an incumbent. You name the position, and they have a challenger. This is different because you're probably going to have 6, 8, 10 people up on the stage, where typically it's a one-on-one primary or a one-on-one election. Not always. But I don't buy that. Like, I risk too much. Why would I risk that with such a person? No, I think you're asking for the voters to elect you for another term. I guess you could say, they could just vote you down. But I don't, personally, I don't buy this, and I don't think it should be allowed to fly for Trump. Because ultimately what happens is he does end up with the advantage, because if something comes out of the debate, then all the media run to him one-on-one and say, well, what's your take on this? Or someone called you out for this.
He's got to be able to debate in his own way, and that's just not fair.
And then he can counter with something that's not true or not accurate, and then it becomes his statement or stance on a position.
At the same time, though, there's no requirement that he has to debate.
No.
But will he be judged differently than somebody else who decides not to debate? Debate.
Don't think I was. I don't know. I don't know how I will vote in the future, but that would make me much, much, much less likely to vote for that candidate.
You may have maybe a Democrat or two getting in. Will there be a debate on the Democrat side? Probably not. I mean, they would not want Biden to debate.
Right.
And then once you get down to the two candidates are chosen, let's say it is Trump and Biden. Will there be a debate there? That's going to be very, very interesting to see, because Biden's people don't want the Democrats don't want him in front of a live mic. So where is this going? Wow,
it's funny if
the fact that this is a flashback. It could be the old two going at it, the really old two going at it all over again.
I wonder though if Biden is on the debate stage, is his team of people explainers allowed to come out and correct the statements he makes live during the debate, or do they have to wait to the press conference afterward?
I wonder. Coming up next hour, Jimmy Fallon tickets went on sale yesterday for VIP members.
Okay.
There is a VIP code. And I just want to say that I really believe that all WIBX listeners who tune in from noon till 3, they're all VIPs, aren't they? Yeah. When it comes to Jimmy. Davey is the king of all VIPs, right, Davey?
Right, especially when he mentions my name.
Yeah, he does. A national show.
Yeah, Davey gets a lot of shout-outs on the show.
Next hour, I'm going to announce that VIP code. It's the only way you could buy tickets. Tomorrow, it opens for everybody.
It's Davey.
It is not the VIP code, but that's your own VIP code. I'll give you the VIP code next hour at 7:35. That'll give you a little heads up, a little leg up, a little advantage on just the average person who may not tune in or coming in from out of town. You'll get a lot of people coming in from out of town for this show.
Yeah, you will.
Because Jimmy has become quite big, and I wonder, with Tucker Carlson out at Fox, does that rotate things and shift things around? Is Jimmy close to getting his own TV show on Fox News Channel?
Well, I just hope it doesn't mean he loses his own radio show, because I love listening to him in the afternoon here.
Yeah, I agree.
What time was Tucker on? 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 8 o'clock?
I don't know. It was somewhere in that range.
He was on at 8. Well, Hannity does his show from 3 to 6, and he still does his TV show at 9.
Well,
Yep.
Smitty, you're going to get me in trouble. So
Brian Kilby's been filling in for Tucker this week.
Couple other stories here. This 9/11 Never Forget mobile exhibit. I've seen the memorial in New York City. It is somber. It is breathtaking. It is emotional, and this that you can see through, I believe it's gone when? It's right up until Sunday?
I believe it's Sunday.
Are you talking about the one in Rome?
Yeah.
It's already passed.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it was this past weekend.
I thought it was
No,
okay,
it was,
all right.
It was last Thursday to
So it's closed up. You can't, because we were going to go this weekend.
No, it's gone.
All I can tell you is, if you've not seen it in New York City, this mobile thing was incredibly impressive.
It was actually last Thursday, the 20th through the 24th.
All right, Davey. I'm going to blame you for not making sure that I got there on time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because we really wanted to go to that. The top baby names it's not your fault. Baby names in New York, new babies. So a baby is born. It's not like the old days when the kid's name was Bill or Jeff or Bob or Tom. Today, it's a whole different world. What do you think the number one boy name is in New York State? Now, that includes New York City. Number one boy name.
In New York State.
Go ahead.
I was going to say Devin.
It's Liam. Devin is not on the list. Sorry,
Really?
man. So neither is Stefan. Liam, L-I-A-M. Liam is number one, followed by one of the oldest names out there, Noah. As President Trump would say, Noah, one of the other N-words.
Is that what he said?
He's given speeches over the weekend, and it's all about the N-word. You know, there are two N-words out there. One is nuclear. It's another bad one. The other one might be worse. Maybe they're both just as bad. That was an interview I gave over the weekend. It's hilarious.
Your impression is you have his.
Well, there's some mannerism. It's
his
about
mannerisms,
as far as I can get. Joseph is number 4. Benjamin is number 5. Top ladies, a female name, girl name. Olivia in New York State is number 1.
Oh, I have a friend who has a young daughter named Olivia.
Emma, Sophia, Charlotte, and Amelia is number 5. Those are the top names in New York. We have news, the top news in New York. Coming right up, WIBX Utica Rome. It's 7 o'clock.
It'll go nowhere in the Democrat-led Senate. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The Plain House Republicans narrowly proved that Speaker Kevin McCarthy touted.
That lifts the debt limit, ends wasteful Washington spending, and puts America back on the right economic path.
It raises the debt ceiling with strings attached that Fox's Jessica Rosenthal details.
The bill would expand work requirements on certain adult access to food stamps and Medicaid and bring discretionary spending back down to 2022 levels, which Democrats like House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries say will harm everyone.
The extreme MAGA Republican Default on America Act will hurt everyday Americans.
A new Fox News poll cements former President Trump's frontrunner status in the 2024 Republican White House race at 53%, 32 points ahead of Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Former Vice President Pence is at 6%. And a federal appeals court has rejected the latest Trump attempt to block Pence from testifying in a grand jury probe into 2020 election fraud claims and the Capitol riot. Testimony will continue today in a Trump civil trial in New York City with his accuser, E. Jean Carroll, on the stand, alleging the former president raped her decades ago, then defamed her, denying it.
She said she did not report the alleged rape because she feared being fired by her boss at the time, Roger Ailes, because he was a friend of the defendant.
Fox's Gernal Scott. Jack Teixeira is due back in court today. The Massachusetts Air National Guardsman accused of leaking classified intelligence online. Prosecutors will try to keep him jailed. House Republicans grilled the head of the teachers union at a hearing into COVID school policies. Randy Weingarten testified.
It was not only appropriate for the CDC to confer with educators, it would have been irresponsible for them not to.
GOP members on the committee say they're concerned the union had undue influence on the decision to keep schools closed and that the closures set back the education of America's children.
Fox's Jill Nato. America's listening to Fox News.
The Tunnel to Towers 9/11 Institute gives educators access to nonfiction 9/11 resources for K-12, first-person curriculum units with video accounts, the Discovering Heroes book series for kids, a speakers bureau with access to 9/11 first responders, survivors, and loved ones, a high-tech tractor-trailer that transforms into an interactive museum with 9/11 artifacts, Russell F. Siller Memorial Scholarships for exemplary high school students of program recipients who are preparing for college. Never forget, donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at t2t.org.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
We have cloudy skies, still some fog we're dealing with here this morning, and 32 degrees. WIBX News Time is 7:03. This news update is brought to you by My Carl's. Shop My Carl's today for the lowest prices, no credit needed financing, and fast same-day delivery in the New Hartford Shopping Center and Destiny USA. The United County Sheriff's Office investigating the cause of a fatal crash. The collision happened yesterday when 60-year-old Mary Kay Neville was driving on Route 5 in Vernon. Authorities say her vehicle crossed the center line and struck a vehicle driven by 77-year-old Viola Ducati. Neville's vehicle then struck another vehicle before it wound up in a ditch. A passenger in Ducati's vehicle was killed. The drivers involved in the accident did suffer injuries, but authorities say they are non-life-threatening. Again, the investigation is ongoing. A press release sent out from the village of Herkimer claims that former Herkimer Village Mayor Mark Nettie had an unpaid water bill written off while he was in office, and he was allowed to avoid late fees that other residents were subjected to. Acting village clerk Amanda Viscomi conducting the investigation, she sent out the news release to members of the media last evening. It claims that Mayor Mark Nettie failed to pay an $810 water bill while he was mayor of the village, and instead of the debt being re-levied onto his tax bill, it was written off by the village while he was still mayor. Nettie was mayor of the village from 2018 through June of 2022. He lost the village election to current mayor Dana Sherry. According to the clerk, she sent a demand letter for Nettie to make the payment. She says Nettie promptly paid the money in March of this year. Viscomi says the additional irregularities occurred between June of 2020 and December of 2021. We've been talking about this morning, and you can read more on our website at WIBX950.com. New York State lawmakers and Governor Hochul say they have reached a deal to phase out gas hookups as part of the state budget still being negotiated in Albany. The deal calls for ending natural gas hookups in newly constructed buildings that are 7 stories or less by the end of 2026, with few exceptions. In 2028, all new construction would no longer be allowed to have gas hookups. New Yorkers will still be able to replace an old gas stove, though, with a new gas stove. And an arrest being made by authorities involving a central New York school district. A custodian who works in the Schoharie Central School District in some serious trouble with law enforcement after being arrested for allegedly having child pornography. Troopers say 50-year-old James Lethko was taken into custody yesterday. He faces multiple felony charges. The superintendent there says Lethko did not have any direct contact with students as part of his duties, but he has been placed on leave. Lethko was issued an appearance ticket. He's due to answer the charges in court next month. Full details on your forecast from Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint.
I'm Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint in the WIBX Weather Center. The pick of the week today, bright sunshiny sky, milder, a high near 60. Tonight clear to partly cloudy, a low of 37. And Friday mainly dry through evening, increasing clouds with a few spotty showers late, a high of 62. For more on your local forecast, tune to Eyewitness News at 6 on WUTR. I'm meteorologist Craig Flint on WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM.
Right now, it's cloudy skies, still some fog, 33 degrees at 7:07. All right, in sports, big night tonight. The NFL draft gets underway. Elsewhere, former Packers legend says he thinks Aaron Rodgers' trade was a good thing, and he thinks Rodgers will do just fine in New York. Rodgers was introduced to the New York media yesterday and said that the Super Bowl III trophy looks lonely. Favre was traded from the Packers to the Jets back in 2008 during training camp. That's when Rodgers actually took over the starting job in Green Bay. I thought that was an interesting line, that the lone Jets Super Bowl trophy looks lonely over there. That's quite a prediction, and I'd love to know what Andrew Dominio thought of it as well. The Knicks knocking off the Cavaliers 106-95 in Game 5 last night. Jalen Brunson, 23 points. The Knicks get their first series win since 2013. They'll now host the Heat. They are a host team now in the second round, hosting the Heat in Game 1 of the East semifinals coming up on Sunday, although the Miami Heat have been red hot, no pun intended. The Hudson River rivalry is down to a best of 3. Devils-Rangers tied at 2 games apiece, entering Game 5 tonight in Newark. New Jersey coming off back-to-back victories at MSG to square the series at 2 games apiece. The Islanders taking things a game at a time. They trail their series 3-2, and they look to force a winner-take-all Game 7 when they host the Canes in Game 6 coming up tomorrow night. Mets and Yankees now both 14-11 on the season. The Yankees were able to salvage the series finale against the Twins. 12-6 was the final. With the victory, they snapped their 3-game slide. Domingo Germán improving to 2-2 on the season. He struck out 8 batters and allowed 6 runs over 6 innings. The Nationals have won the first 2 games of their 3-game set against the Mets. Kodai Senga suffers his first loss as a Met. The final was 4-1. As I mentioned, they're now 14-11 as well. The Mets, that is.
And I have to say, Stefan is sitting over there in his Mets gear and his Islanders gear and all of that stuff there. You have a couple things to report on here today, Stefan. Number one, you had some help from a couple of formers.
Yes, I did. Actually, first, I went to dinner at the new It's a Utica thing last night.
Oh, you did? I was just going to talk about it. It's a Utica thing, kitchen and bar.
Yes, and I had the very good spaghetti and meatballs.
Yeah.
And
you know that spaghetti is homemade. I say they're house-made spaghetti. It's all homemade spaghetti. All their pastas are homemade.
It was very good, but if you do go, make sure you bring your money.
Yeah, that usually is that's usually a prerequisite.
Unless I'm bringing him. He brings it with him.
Yeah.
Because it wiped me out.
It did, yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, right, you're how much did you go with?
I went with over $30.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Now, Stefan, let me ask you. You also had you ran into somebody there yesterday, right?
Actually, across the street at a local grocery store, ran into Andrew Dominio and Matt Barbuda.
Barbudo and Matt used to be a producer for my show, and so did Andrew. They were all shopping in the same place, all of you. It's crazy. And then, but didn't Andrew give you something?
Yes, I asked if he could help me out with a ride, and he said he had to get home himself.
Yeah, sure.
But he gave me money, $20 for a taxi cab.
Okay, which you immediately went over to It's a Utica Thing and spent it.
No, I didn't.
Oh, you
that
didn't.
was
Okay,
after
it was afterwards.
It's a Utica Thing.
Okay, all right. Well, it's all wonderful. Did you enjoy the food?
Yes, I did. It was very good.
And the atmosphere is really nice, too, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Listen, let me do this now. Thank you. Appreciate it. It's a Utica Thing kitchen and bar is now open in the Big Lots Plaza. And there's a full dinner menu. The lunch menu will go up on their website later today. They begin serving lunch tomorrow. And after tomorrow, it'll be open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. until 10 p.m.
Hey, now.
Lunch and dinner, a full bar. Pizza. They still have their great hand-tossed pizzas. And, of course, just an awesome menu from steaks to seafood and pastas, as Stefan said, and a full bar. The phone number to call for reservations is 315-738-8946, located at 350 Leland Ave, Utica, in the Big Lots Plaza. Lunch menu begins tomorrow. It's a Utica Thing, kitchen and bar in North Utica.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, did you run into an excellent, how do I want to say this, communications director for a local state representative?
Yes, I did. Alex, Mr. Griffo's communications director, and also I asked Andrew what he thought of the Rodgers trade, and he said, "Thank God."
Yeah, he's happy to be rid of Aaron Rodgers.
Yes,
but
he
you
is.
watch. The thing that kills me is, and this has happened so much to the Mets, is players that don't do all that well, they go off and they become Met killers.
Yeah, they go off and then they go off.
They just may not, they may not be the most spectacular against other teams, but when they come back to play the Mets, it's always not good.
A couple of examples that come to mind off the top of my head were like bench guys, extra guys, Justin Turner, Joe McEwing. There are several examples of guys who were nothing with the Mets.
Wilmer Flores hurt the Mets over the weekend. Who else? There was another former Met that pitched. I mean, who was the rotation? You had DeGrom,
Wheeler. There was Zach Wheeler.
Zach Wheeler has come back to hurt the Mets, and the other one, Thor,
with the blonde hair.
Yeah, he was with San Diego, I think.
And
or is with.
And Zach Wheeler with the Phillies. I mean, he had an incredible year last year.
Who else?
It was Noah Syndergaard.
Syndergaard, yeah. I mean, Syndergaard, although the Mets hit him a little bit, but still, these things happen. What will Aaron Rodgers be like when he comes up to Buffalo?
Von Miller's going to sack him and squish him.
All right, I hope so. Also want to tell you about pain. If you're dealing with pain, there is an option out there, and you don't have to live with pain. You may be dealing with neck pain or back pain, shoulder pain. So oftentimes people just live with it, and sometimes it gets so excruciating. And the medicines they give you, you can't stay on them, and even when you're taking them, they either work or they don't work. The Omni Surgical Center in Utica, Dr. Hyder at the Omni Surgical Center can help. Their website is really a website that says it all. KillPain.com is the website. Dr. Hyder at the Omni Surgery Center. People come from all over the country and all over North America to take advantage of either a less invasive surgery that is done right there at the facility, or a non-invasive injection that can really offer you instant relief. We've seen that firsthand with my dad. Omni Surgery Center, located in the business park, and the surgery center is on French Road. Call today at 315-765-8448 where modern technology meets cutting-edge surgery. You don't have to live with the pain. Log on to their website, killpain.com.
Power Sports of Utica is holding its grand opening event on the 28th and 29th of April. We have over 350 vehicles in stock and incoming for you to see. Come celebrate with us at the store over great food, drink, and entertainment. We can't wait to see you there. It's our Power Sports of Utica grand opening, April 28th and 29th, with over 150 new and used Harley-Davidsons in our pool. 0% down, 3.99 APR on select Harleys. Grand opening discounts on boots, helmets, shirts, and apparel.
Honey, why are you peeking out the window and spying on the neighbors?
I can't stop watching what they're doing to their house. Look at that. They added a sunroom and put in a pool. Do you think they won the lottery?
No, not the lottery. Julie and Jeff got a home equity loan from Adirondack Bank. They're using the equity from their home to renovate.
Really?
Yes, Adirondack Bank has home equity rates as low as 3.99% annual percentage rate. You can access the equity in your home to fund almost anything.
Huh. Maybe we should call Adirondack Bank. What about a new kitchen? Wouldn't that be awesome? Well, then, of course, we would need new furniture, and we could repair the roof. Oh, and even take that trip to Italy that we've always talked about. And, of course, I need a new car.
Slow down, honey. Let's go talk to the experts at Adirondack Bank.
Stop into your local Adirondack Bank for more information on home equity loan rates as low as 3.99% APR. Or call 877-404-2265 for credit costs and terms. Apply today at AdirondackBank.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
I studied Spanish in college and never got fluent. But then I tried Babbel.
Want the most effective way to learn another language? In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons will have you learning another language in as little as 3 weeks.
Babbel is all conversation-based, so it gets you speaking quickly about things you actually talk about in the real world.
You'll really see a difference in how you can speak and how conversational you can be in just a few weeks.
Babbel isn't just lessons. You can listen to podcasts, play games, watch videos. You can even take live online classes with a language teacher. There are so many ways to learn with Babbel.
The lessons online and in the app make it easy to learn from pretty much anywhere.
University studies have shown that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a semester of college Spanish. If you want to learn a new language, there's no better way than Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Hi, this is Tom Cole from Gates Cole Insurance with exciting news. We're expanding with a couple of new offices in our area. One new location is Tall Pines Insurance in Boonville. They're another independent insurance agency that takes pride in making customers happy. That fits our culture at Gates Cole perfectly. Here's Greg Lee from the newest Gates Cole location, Tall Pines Insurance in Boonville.
The reason why I got into insurance was I wanted to allow my father the opportunity to retire and give back to my community. You know, we had the Boonville fire that wiped out a large area down here for us a few years ago, and so we showed up at the fire. You know, we were right there, ground zero with our insureds, who made sure that they were taken care of quickly. You know, we were able to get people the money that they needed to cover their expenses from that loss.
For insurance for your home, auto, business, and just about everything else, trust your local independent insurance agency, Gates Cole Insurance, proudly representing Finger Lakes Fire and Casualty Company of Trumansburg, New York.
Need a new tractor, zero-turn mower, utility vehicle? Try it and buy it at this year's Kubota Field event. It's our biggest sale event of the year, and we have it all. Ask about our competitive financing. Get a coupon for up to $250 and enter for a chance to win an Orca cooler. That's our Kubota Field event, Saturday, May 6th, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at White's Farm Supply in Waterville.
White's Farm Supply.
I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. We provide a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to determine eligibility. Businesses of all types can qualify, so go to getrefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. Download the Innovation Refunds app or go to getrefunds.com, getrefunds.com.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, we're going to do a little reunion time here coming up in a second, so stand by. Couple of comments. Wayne this morning says, You were talking about work zone tickets yesterday during work hours. Are the tickets given out stamped from this camera? So it turns out it's a ticket, but it's not a ticket. It's not a traffic ticket. It's more of a civil ticket, right?
That's the way it's been
and it's
described
coming from
to
the
me.
Department of Transportation, not from state police. He says, I asked because they work weekends, nights, and use lights. There's no, you got to be thinking the cameras are on at night.
Well, I
and
believe
the other thing is there's a vehicle there with a camera on top of it. They're not fixed.
Yes.
The cameras.
Now, if I could be mistaken here, but I believe our guest yesterday, I'm going to get his title wrong. I know he's
Sergeant, Lieutenant, Corporal Dave Olney.
Yes, thank you. I think we covered all the bases there. I apologize, Dave.
I call him the General.
What the General said that they would only be, I believe he said they're only in use while the construction site is going. So if you drive by on a Sunday night and there's nobody,
if there's nobody there, but
you shouldn't be getting a ticket for that.
However, if they're working at night, chances are there might be a camera.
Oh,
there
sure,
at night.
yeah. If it's an active construction site and there's workers there, yes.
Couple of others. Rob says, I don't think Jimmy will get his own show while Gutfeld is number one on late night. I'm thinking for you might begin to see. Now I could be wrong, obviously. But I'm thinking maybe a show after Gutfeld, like a late show, would be pretty cool for Jimmy Fallon.
Right, with his comedy and his humor.
I wouldn't want the Tucker spot.
Right.
Whoever takes that spot, it's going to be very difficult.
Well, we've said the same thing about Rush.
The first replacement takes the bullet.
Yeah.
The second replacement comes in to save the day.
Yeah.
But, Jimmy's done very well as the first replacement. But I think what they did with Rush very wisely is we ran like 12 months or 11 months of repeats of Rush Limbaugh.
It might have been more like 10 weeks.
Well, it still went on for a long time.
It went on longer than it should.
And I think people were looking for something new. So that may have been a smart move. It was rough for the couple of months we dealt with it, but it might have been a smart move. Anyway, Rob, so I don't know. But yeah, Gutfeld is one of the, not just on cable news, but in all of late night. It's pretty big. All right, let's do a little reunion action here. We have Stefan in studio, and here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Joe Lode. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning, Bill. How are you today?
Wonderful. What's happening?
Well, as I'm driving down 95 right now, it's a little foggy.
It is foggy
outside.
Yeah, that fog was dense this morning.
Yeah.
And
it is dense.
It is dense. Okay.
Have you ever been to a Buc-ee's?
A what?
A Buc-ee's?
Buc-ee's. You ever been to Buc-ee's?
Unwind Inn?
No, not that one. The Buc-ee's. They got this, it's like a, how do I say it? It's a convenience store on steroids. They're huge down south, Buc-ee's.
I've never been to one. No.
Oh, my God. They're amazing. They have their own private bathrooms for everybody, so you can't look over the little partition. There's no partition. You can't see over it. It goes all the way to the ceiling.
Okay. All right. So it's kind of like it's
like, who does that, Joe? Who does that?
Sometimes I catch people looking over the partition.
Okay. Right. I'm just doing pull-ups, one of those guys.
Sometimes I can't fit in between the partitions. No, at the urinals, not at the stalls.
I see. Oh, in the urinals. Okay.
In either situation, Joe, have never done that.
So what is it like? It lends itself to truckers and travelers, right?
Yes, Bill, you could get key lime pie. They got beef jerky of all flavors. You got breakfast sandwiches, lunches, salads.
Wow,
There's like a little department store. It's amazing.
Davey, you know about this?
He's in Florida.
I was going to ask you, if you're on 95, where are you?
Well, actually, I was in Florida this morning, and then I was in Georgia, and now I'm in South Carolina.
Wow, you're making some good time.
Holy Toledo.
Yeah. I started at a little after 3 this morning, and we're going to get home about 10 o'clock tonight.
You know the rule. The rule is when traveling back or even down, get off 95 and don't go through D.C.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got to do something, but I got to get somebody back to Maryland who's in the truck, see? So I got to go through there to get to Maryland.
Are you on vacation there, or are you delivering a vehicle or something?
No, we just had a little road trip.
Okay.
Little road trip, old school, high school reunion road trip.
Okay. All right. That sounds like a good time. So,
Yeah, so I got in the back seat is Johnny Withrow.
Hi,
Hello,
Johnny.
Johnny. How you doing?
What's going
I got
on?
Mark Piccolo. You won't be able to talk to him because he's got his earphones in, listening to some kind of audio book.
Okay, nice. So you're dealing. This is like a Mohawk reunion you're talking about here.
Yes, that's I had
Yeah.
a Terry riding shotgun next to me. How you doing, Bill?
Hey, Adam. How are you? Wow, this is quite the
Good,
crew you've got there.
We went down to see Mike Santillo down
Okay,
in Florida.
nice.
A little vacation, go see Mike. You know.
Well, it sounds like the movie will be coming out sometime in the fall, and should be exciting.
Pretty close. I don't know. Some of it will be able to come out. Some of it won't.
Yeah, what happens in Florida, you know.
Well, or what happens in a Buc-ee's bathroom apparently stays in your own stall.
All right.
I want to tell you, though,
Yes.
I got to tell you, though, I was very depressed when I got down to Florida to Daytona Beach. We stayed just outside of Port Orange in Daytona on a hotel on the shore. And, Bill, I got pictures. It looked like Woodstock. It just happened there. It's just totally destroyed.
Yeah, it was bad there this year. Is this the
They
spring
haven't
break
fixed
stuff?
Hardly anything from the hurricane.
Oh, so I don't think that's the hurricane. I think it's the kids from spring break. They had an awful year this year with that.
All right, we had I saw a swimming pool up on stilts. There was no way to get to it.
Wow. Well, that's probably not spring break. That's probably the hurricane. So.
And you know, 2 days ago, they discovered a new shipwreck off the coast of Daytona that was washed ashore because of that hurricane.
Wow. Well, I'm sure it was still nice and the weather was wonderful.
It was hot.
Yeah. All right. It was hot. All right. Good, safe travels with all of you there, and great hearing from you, Joe.
Tell Stefan I said hello.
I will definitely do that. Thank you. He says hello.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thanks so much. Joe Load on his way back from his own little spring break in Daytona.
And he's an equal opportunity plugger because there's not even a Buc-ee's around here that you could go support based on his recommendation.
Good. I was going to say he didn't plug anything, but no, Buc-ee's he plugged.
Yeah.
Andrew on Aaron Rodgers. Hello, Andrew. We're keeping it in-house this morning.
Well, good morning. There's never been a place that Joe hasn't plugged. I'll tell you that.
That is
I will
true.
tell you that.
He is the great plugger.
I can tell you, though, if somebody looked over the stall and saw Joe, they'd never look over the stall again. I can guarantee that.
Good point. It's a very good point.
I was I was calling in because, I was doing a lot of thinking about it. And as a Packers fan, it's kind of like the parallel to Republicans right now, right? It's like, Rodgers is the Trump, right? Wow, too much baggage, too much attention. We're ready to move on to somebody new, and that's Jordan Love for the Green Bay Packers, and I'm very excited about it. I couldn't be more thrilled.
All right, now who is the Jordan Love of politics?
Well, I think probably Ron DeSantis. If I
don't know. I got to tell you, DeSantis has fallen hard.
Well, they're claiming now that he would be that Trump should pick him as the VP nominee?
I don't know. I think he's lost a great deal. I don't know. I mean, Trump has beaten him badly.
It's like what you were talking about with the person to come in to replace.
You're right.
They take the first fall. So,
That's exactly right. Yeah, he's the first one to come out, and even though he didn't come out, everybody knew he was out, and he's the one that's taken the most abuse. I don't know. I still like Nikki Haley. We'll see what happens.
I think she'd be good, or Tim Scott, but it's and Ron's got a good gig in Florida. People love him there, and I don't think he's really too eager to move on up. But you never know. But I just wanted to say.
All right, I like the analogy.
Aaron Rodgers,
I like it.
The Aaron Rodgers era of Green Bay is over. I love it. I mean, for a while there, I was nervous that we couldn't get rid of him. But it's all good. Hopefully he doesn't have the same fate as the Jets that Brett Favre did, if you know what I'm talking about.
And look, just like Rodgers' final days with the Packers, like Trump's last run with the Republicans, you end up losing to incompetent opponents all the time. So I think that's a great analogy.
See what happens. All right, Andrew, thank you, man. Have a safe travels out there. All right.
Talk to you later.
And then one more thing. We say good morning to Greeley, who is down in Florida, and he heard Joe's call. He said Buc-ee's has like 60 or 70 fuel pumps when you go there. He said they are their own small city.
Wow.
So Joe was not kidding. That's
Alicia, have you ever traveled down 95 and gone to like Myrtle Beach or Florida?
Sure have.
Yeah, and you, at least for me, it was always another 20 miles. We're going to get there. South of the border was always the place you looked for. You remember that?
I remember going past it.
Yeah. See, you never stopped. We stopped. My
Good answer.
My family would never stop. But you know what happened the first time I drove down?
Yeah.
I had to stop. And it's nothing. I don't know.
Did you enjoy it?
I didn't know. And maybe it was early in the morning. It wasn't open. But it's everything from food to carnival stuff and garbage. It's just not worth. But a lot of billboards all the way down. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, and it's almost like there's more sizzle than steak.
The
The
billboard-
signage and everything, and
The signage and the billboards are more impressive than the stop itself. So,
Yes.
Alicia did the right thing. She didn't stop. Very smart.
Thank you.
Good morning. I'm sorry you had to wait so much, so long, but good morning. Thanks for getting in here.
Thanks for having me again.
So we're talking about the needs of businesses, and we're growing. There's no doubt about it, but we need to grow the workforce as well.
Yeah, I mean, growth comes with a cost. The cost is making sure we have the talent to feed the growth, and we'd like to grow that talent from within as well as attract new talent.
Right.
And then how do we retain that talent over time? We're only as good as the people that live here and
Right.
do the work, so we have to make sure they're prepared.
So what is the Community Foundation doing?
So a few years ago in 2020, we made a commitment of $1 million for workforce, basically to support Mohawk Valley Edge's appeal to bring Wolf Speed at the time. It was part of an incentive package. And we've funded over the last 3 years mechatronics labs and manufacturing labs, the What's Upstate app, which if you haven't gone to it, please go visit it. It's a great attraction and retention tool that if you go to Nashville and you just go to the Nashville site, you can find great neighborhoods, great schools,
okay.
jobs, all sorts of things.
Okay.
And then we also invested in some coding outreach. So all of these are really focused on the new tech economy coming, but also healthcare, educators. We need all workforce for the trades. Everybody's looking for trade
Right,
support.
it's unbelievable. I wonder, have you noticed that when you talk to someone, and I see this from the radio standpoint all the time, when you talk to someone from here, they have a lot of opinion on the area. When you talk to someone who's coming from somewhere else, they love it here.
Yeah.
That is really, I find that so interesting.
That might be me. I've only been here 20 years, so I'm not allowed to say I'm from here yet.
I think you are after 20 years. I didn't realize you're an implant or a transplant.
Transplant, not
Sorry.
an implant. But nice try.
Save that. Transplant.
Yes,
yes. I didn't realize that, though.
Yeah.
So you do find that people have a different look when they come here from somewhere else.
Well, there's no doubt this region has gone through quite a bit of trauma with economic decline and loss of jobs and industry.
Yeah.
And that filters into so many different aspects, right?
Yep.
No
right.
real new housing, lots of economic decline across the board. But, over the last 10 years, we've seen this new evolution of new jobs, new investment.
Yeah.
People love to talk about Wolf Speed. That's going to have a whole, I think 3 to 5 jobs for every job they put up there. And I think there are already over 300 new employees.
So that's important. If you could just go over that a little bit.
Yeah.
So for every job they add, it'll mean 3 to 5 jobs
in the region.
Right.
2 to 3 of those will need to be serving as a supplier, a vendor, directly to the facility.
Okay.
Others are just to support the economy
Right.
and the growth. But what's happening at Griffiths Tech Park is extraordinary. There are more employees there than there ever have been when it was the base. The innovation there with new air, cyber. There's a whole new economy growing, and
yeah.
so we can attract it because people from outside this region see the value, and I think a lot of the folks that are from here are starting to see that too, because Gen Z are coming back.
Right.
Millennials are already back, so there's definitely interest, but we also want to make sure that those opportunities are available to vulnerable populations that are typically left out of the tech economy.
Right. Okay.
So that's a very specific target of ours.
When we talk about workforce development, and correct me if I'm wrong, it may be a misunderstanding, but I want to say like 15, 20 years ago, workforce development was as simple as we need to show folks how to use email, open email, how do you type. It was very basic like that. There's been a whole evolution, a revolution. And can you talk about what the focus is now? And how do people get into these programs? Where do they go to find more information that maybe I'd like a career path that goes down this way or this way or this way?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of collaborative effort to make sure that everyone knows what everybody's doing and tightening that collaboration to make sure there's no gaps and making sure we're doing the outreach effectively through the K-12, BOCES, and those that aren't going into higher ed. What are the training and certification programs that we can get access? Programs like Young Scholars and On Point and others are always trying to work with students and trying to do wraparound and get them on pathways of success. We'll be doing the same in our impact centers in Corn Hill. Other partners are doing that with, if they're working with a client on any issue and they know they can get into a training or they have an interest in the trades, they know who to call. There's a network of organizations, Workforce Investment, EDGE, all the colleges, everybody's focused on this. And in fact, there was just a call with all of the hospitals regionally who are looking to not just get physicians, but all sorts of talent to work collaboratively, and how do we attract that talent to our region. So those models are going to really be successful because we're working together.
It is, it's a very interesting time, very exciting time, right? With all the things that are happening. Complete transformation of downtown. We're seeing that same transformation happen out in Rome. The base. Yesterday, we were told by the United Indian Nation that if you think what they've done in the first 30 years was impressive, they're about to announce something really, really big this summer that is going to transform the region even further. You put that together with Marcy and Nexus. We're reaping the benefits from Nexus already. This is mind-boggling when you think about it.
It's a game changer, and I would add Micron and what's going on in the whole corridor of Central New York with Syracuse. You know, and there's nothing but opportunity for this region, and I know there's a lot of hesitation. I hear it every day that I've heard this before, or it's hurry up and wait, or you've promised this already. But just take a drive up to SUNY Poly and see what's happening up there with Wolfspeed. Go down the thruway to Rome, go to Syracuse. There is unprecedented growth.
Yeah.
And our issue is we have to prepare for that growth. And that's what this workforce investment strategy is all about. You know, we'll have a lot more in the Rome Sentinel. We're doing an article about this weekend, and always online. If you're looking for more information, at our website, foundationhoc.org. I always have to put that plug in.
Well, and I think the Community Foundation has made this is an organization that's been around for a long time.
Since 1952.
But it has never had the effect on this community like it does today.
Well, I appreciate hearing that.
Yeah.
Our board, our donors, our staff, and our nonprofit partners, and the residents we work with are really helping us make effective investments. And workforce is all about bringing opportunity, bringing wealth generation into a community that, if you talk to youth, when I moved here, people couldn't wait to leave because there was no opportunity.
Yeah.
And now that's not the case, but we've got to make sure everybody knows that.
All right. Very interesting stuff. It's good to know, though, that we haven't completely lost our way. We can still argue over a complete streets and a Stewart's. I mean, we're not done yet. We're still Uticans, Mohawk Valley people, Romans.
Healthy arguments are okay.
You're right. Healthy is the key there.
Yes.
But I also, one more thing before we let you go, I do think this is going to be, I remember when the building there along the arterial, they took the building down and it
was like storage
They
and
did
stuff.
the implosion. It was
Cold
a really,
storage, yeah.
it's a memory thing. You'll remember that moment for the rest of your life. I think it was kind of cool here in the region. I think what we're going to see in the fall is one of those, and probably even bigger than that, moments when the hospitals, St. E's and St. Luke's, within a 24-hour period, moves everything into the new building. This is going to be something to be seen.
Yeah. Downtown is going to be a completely different place come fall next year.
Pretty exciting.
It is exciting.
Alicia, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It's
We
good to see you
appreciate it.
guys, as always.
And I can almost guarantee that the downtown traffic pattern will be completely different than we've ever seen it
It probably will be.
They need a circulation plan.
And let's not forget, she's a transplant, not an implant.
Thank you.
Sorry about that.
Appreciate that.
Got a break. Actually, let me do Mohawk Valley before we break. The Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers One Person of the Week from the United County Sheriff's Department. Department, Sahid Karsik, on the line right now. Sahid, thank you so much for coming on. Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers. Some things are happening in this organization as well, because we're beginning to see a lot of these tips are coming in, and it is helping authorities when it comes to finding those people who are out and wanted by authorities.
Absolutely, Bill. I 100% agree.
Yeah, I mean, there were a couple of cases just recently where tips from Crime Stoppers, which the beauty of Crime Stoppers is that when those tips come in, it's all done anonymously, and there's no worry that one might have about, retribution. And the other part is there are rewards that are handed out depending on the significance of the catch. It is a big deal. So each week we do our Wanted Person of the Week with Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers. Who are we looking for this week?
Good morning, Bill. So
Good morning.
Week, our office is looking for a female by the name of Carisha, middle initial B, last name Gulbin. She also goes by Windover, her last name. She's a white female, 44 years of age. She's approximately 5'6", weighs approximately 170 pounds. She has brown hair, brown eyes, and we have one bench warrant, which is a violation of probation, signed out of Oneida County Court for the charge of unlawfully manufacture of meth in the third degree.
Okay, and this is a case where, if I am correct, being placed on probation, you have to check in with a probation officer, and there has been no communication since the beginning of the year.
That's correct. Since January, she has essentially had no contact with a probation officer. She's not shown up there. Probation hasn't been able to reach her, and has since absconded from probation.
Okay, all right. Okay, so you go to our website at WIBX950.com. You can see the story up there. There's also information about Crime Stoppers, how there's an app, there's a website, there's a phone number you could call. All the information is there for you. And, of course, the phone number to offer up a tip is 1-866-730-8477. Sahid Karsik, investigator, thanks for the time.
Thank you, Bill. I appreciate it.
Have a great day. That's Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers. And, again, our website has all of the details for you to check out. All right. He is one of the many, but one of the more successful around the country. Travels the nation. They go online. They pretend to be underage children, and they lure in some of the most horrible people in the world. This could be very dangerous, and I'm not sure law enforcement loves it. There are some areas that kind of work with them. Others frown upon it. But Cameron Decker is the owner of one of these organizations, and he's back in the Utica area. And he says this is one of the areas where they find more, they end up with more people than most places around the country. That's a little scary. We'll speak with him coming up. Let's do our free money question of the day from the Obeika Law Firm, though, right now. We'll take caller number 3. Third caller through the phone lines right now at 315-736-0186. Your chance to win from Hobeika and WIBX.
Adirondack Home Furniture knows that when it comes to outdoor furniture, you want something that's comfortable, durable, and stylish. That's why Polywood is the perfect choice. Polywood furniture is made from high-quality materials that are weather-resistant and easy to clean. Plus, each piece is designed with comfort and style in mind, so you can enjoy your outdoor space like never before. Whether you're looking for classic Adirondack chairs, stylish dining sets and sofas, or a beautiful fire pit, Polywood has everything you need to create the perfect outdoor oasis. So why wait? Transform your outdoor space into a place of relaxation, fun, and style with Polywood furniture at Adirondack Home Furniture. Stop in and explore their large selection of Polywood pieces and take one home today. Adirondack Home Furniture does custom orders, delivery, and setup. Stop in today and explore the world of Polywood. Adirondack Home Furniture in the former Riverside Mall, North Utica, or at AdirondackHomeFurniture.com.
If you need a tractor that's small but mighty, Clinton Tractor has what you're looking for. The New Holland Workmaster 25S subcompact tractor is economical with deluxe comfort, and the simple 2-pedal operation makes it easy to mow, load, dig, and grade. And qualified buyers can get low-rate financing on a New Holland Workmaster 25S. See them for details or at clintontractor.net.
We are the leader in service, Clinton Tractor.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Spring has sprung. It's the Strong Spas Factory Store Spring Sale all month long. Sangertown Square. Blowout prices on floor models and factory recertified spas. Clearing out the floor to make room for more. Immediate delivery. It's a spring super sale at Strong Spas. Visit the largest spa showroom in the country. Huge savings. Price to move. See for yourself. Find them in Sangertown Square and ask about their financing options for credit qualified buyers. Get in your spa at Strong Spas. Hurry, these spas won't last.
Poor Sam was a mess. Always itching, licking. His paws were soaking wet. He had bald spots on his back. DINOVITE.com. 2 weeks after he started Dynamite, I started seeing great improvements, and today 99% of his issues are non-existent. Dynavite is nutrition. Dynavite is the best thing you can do for your dog.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dynavite from DINOVITE.com.
It's the Move to Mazda sales event going on right now at Steve Pawnee Mazda. Ricky Z is all ready for you for 2023s and 0.9% APR financing up to 36 months on all new 2023 Mazda CX-30s, CX-5s, and CX-50s. If you've been noticing a lot more Mazda brand vehicles on the road, well, it's because there are many more. Maybe it's time for you to be driving an award-winning Mazda as well. It's the Move to Mazda sales event. Ricky Z says, come on in and test drive one of these vehicles and make the move. He'll put the deal together for you. It is a different buying experience. They're number one, first place nationally in customer satisfaction. The Move to Mazda sales event underway right now at Steve Pawnee Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, let's do our free money question of the day from the Hobica Law Firm. Joseph and Andrew Hobica, 315-724-1600 is the phone number. And Eric is on the line right now in Deerfield. Hello, Eric. Good morning.
Good morning, Bill.
You ready to take a shot here this morning?
I think so.
All right, this is for you. This is your chance to win $100 plus other stuff, and we'll get to that. That Jimmy Fallon code is coming up as well, so stand by for that. Here's your question. If you are a sinophobe, you're sinophobic, what are you afraid of? Ready? Go.
Sounds like I'd be afraid of signs.
Afraid of signs. This is a CYN. I see you went with sign, S-I-G-N. So if it was CYN, sinophobe, what would you be afraid of?
Central New York.
Okay, all right. Good for
CNY,
you.
not CYN.
I do like your answers today. The answer is if you're a sinophobe or sinophobic, CYN, sinophobic, you are afraid of dogs.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that has no relation.
Well, I think it does. The CYN does. Yeah, you're a sinophobe.
All right, I'm going to change my answer. I'll say dogs.
Yeah, I think that's a good answer. It's correct. There you go. Brilliant.
Get him a gift card. He won.
All right, we're going to give you the all-in-one food and fun card. It's a $25 gift card. Good at all of the restaurants that are associated with the Comets and the Adirondack Bank Center, the concession stands there, Nexus, Taylor and the Cook, 72 Tavern and Grill, Aquavino. We were there just the other night in New Hartford, which is awesome. And so is Babes. You can check them all out. And I believe Cookies is involved in that as well. A $25 gift card. We'll also give you a table for 6. It's the final weekend of the season at Fat Cats Comedy Club. Gemini is the comedian who is awesome. He'll be in studio tomorrow morning. Go to fatcatscomedyclub.com for details. Stand by. Davey's going to hook you up in there. Eric?
All right. Thanks, Bill.
Thanks, Eric. Davey, take care of Eric. Eric, take care of Davey. There we go. You go online, and the moment you see that, if you were to go on as an underage kid, the moment you would get on, you would notice that you would begin to be getting hit on, usually by males, usually by adult males. It's a pretty dangerous job, and I think law enforcement around here frowns upon it, but I believe it's legal. Cameron Decker, it's a catch-a-predator-style investigations that are done online. He is back in the area, and we thought we'd get an update from him. Cameron, good morning. Thanks for coming in.
Hey, good morning, Bill.
So what's new in your world? I know you got a situation up in Lowville where there is someone, and I think you're looking for some tips. Maybe somebody might know something. If they were to go to your website, they might recognize the person. What happened up there?
Yeah, yes, sir. I just returned back to New York after almost about a year since I was up in this area doing some catches. And I decided to stroll on out to a place I haven't been, being Lowville. And within 20 minutes of me being there, introducing myself to local PD, explaining what I do, an individual hit me up, immediately told him the age, he got sexual, and we went out and exposed him, caught him, asked him questions, he admitted everything, and turned it over to the state police at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, and so anyways, I have that video on my YouTube channel. I'm not going to dox his name on air, of course.
Please don't, yeah.
But if people are curious to see who the individual is, they can check that video out. It's titled. But now the FBI is going to be investigating that case.
Oh, wow.
So you have had communication with the FBI over this?
Yes. Yes,
okay.
I do.
And they're working with you?
I wouldn't say they're working with me.
Yeah.
But I'm turning over evidence to them on a case-by-case basis.
Okay.
And this kind of case, basically any kind of case that takes place on the internet is the FBI's jurisdiction.
Okay. And you had said to me that you felt that of all the places, and you've traveled all over the country, you would consider this a hot spot. Talk about that.
Well, it is definitely a hot spot. It's Utica in general. Utica's in Oneida County, anyways. But I'd say it's a population thing. But pretty much everywhere that I go is a hot spot, for what I do, unfortunately.
And what you do is you pose as an underage, usually female.
Female and male.
And male.
I do both, yes.
All right. And the minute you get on, you begin getting hits.
Yes, sir.
Which explain basically what those are.
So we put underage decoy accounts on apps that kids are expected to be on, and then also apps that kids aren't expected to be on that don't verify the age. You can lie about the age you get on there, but they don't require a credit card or a facial verification with an ID. So a lot of kids will sneak onto these apps that the parents aren't checking their devices.
They don't know.
And I'd say with everything that I do, the number one goal, even if there's no law enforcement presence on these things, is to bring awareness to this pandemic and to warn parents to constantly be checking their kids' devices nonstop. You may think that you trust your kid.
Yeah, yeah.
But I can tell you from a years of experience of chatting with these guys online that they're very manipulative, and the word's called grooming. It's where they condition these kids and get, earn their trust, manipulate them to lie to their parents, hide the apps from their parents. So it really comes down to the parents. If every single parent would check their kid's device, there wouldn't be missing children. There would be no, anything bad happening to their kids at that point.
Well, I'm not sure you could say that nothing would happen, but it certainly would.
Well,
You would
Yeah.
decrease the chances of something bad happening. Even as I think it's some parents will make sure they have all passwords. You can't change a password. You can't take a phone into the bedroom. This is the generation being brought up with this type of communication. We've never experienced that before.
Yeah, and actually, there's a really good app out there. It's not what you think it is. It's called Bark, B-A-R-K. You can look it up, Google it. It's a good app for parents to use because they can download it on their phone and their kid's phone, and now they can manually control all the apps on their kids' phones. They can lock them out. You could set a timer for how long you want them to be on their phone. You could lock your kid out of your phone, too.
Yeah.
And also, it will tell you all the apps that are available that are safe for kids, and then apps that parents should be concerned of. And then it actually goes down like a whole description of even, why these apps are so bad for kids.
Cameron Decker has it's like a To Catch a Predator program that airs on YouTube, one of many, and you literally put yourself in danger around the country. Some law enforcement likes you, others feel that it's vigilanteism and dangerous and fear that something bad could happen.
Only in Florida.
Only in Florida.
Only in Florida. Yeah, they're the only law enforcement
So you
agencies.
can't do it in Florida.
Well, I can. It's legal, of course, but because Florida police departments are so over budgeted, they have all the resources to do these proactive things on their own. So they feel like we get in the way, and I kind of agree with them. But I will say there's more law enforcement agencies out there that are willing to work with me than there are not.
Okay.
Along with DAs. And since the last time I was here, I've worked with at least 4 agencies as a confidential informant, just only on child predator cases. And we went to Atlantic City, New Jersey. In a month, we caught 43 predators, and 41 of them were all charged.
Wow.
So,
And how much time did you catch 43?
1 month.
Wow. Let me ask you this. You mentioned this app again. I want to mention this because there's a lot of parents listening to the program, and I'm taking notes furiously here. This Bark app allows you, it almost mirrors your child's phone, the apps they have on the phone, and you can set parameters as far as how long the child is on the phone. You can lock out certain apps that they can't have. When you say you create a profile on certain apps, and then adults will reach out to you thinking that you're a teenage boy or girl who is innocent and they're looking to take advantage of you. Thank you. Can you name some of those apps that parents should be wary of? Yes.
Yeah. All right. So number 1, if you ever hear your kids say Telegram, just take their phone and just burn it or, destroy it. Telegram's the worst app, I'd say. It's an encrypted app, which means that when law enforcement gets a hold of it, if the predator goes and deletes the messages, before the police get it, they're never recovering those messages, nor is a warrant to that company going to secure the messages either. It's also an app, I'm going to use the word CP. I think we all know what that stands for.
Child predator.
Okay.
Right. Is that what it is?
No, it's an illegal version of PORN.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So anyways, that is an app that predators use to transmit those type of images to one another. So that's the number 1. Another app that I think kids commonly use, which is also somewhat encrypted, is Kik. Have you ever heard of Kik? It's a messaging app. They have chat rooms on that. WhatsApp is another one. Pretty much a lot of these apps.
WhatsApp is one I think a lot of people use.
Yeah, it's not
if they don't want
to
track there's no tracking, right? Is that?
Well, the thing that predators do on those is it will give you like a fake phone number, so there's no way to trace that back to them.
I see. Okay. All right. Stand by. Cameron Decker is in studio. We'll talk more with him coming up and give you an idea of some of the things that you can learn to be careful of with your kids and grandchildren who may be on the web. Be very, very careful. Got a break. We have news. I told you I'd give you a VIP code for Jimmy Fallon and the Laughs and Liberty Tour. The VIP code is VIP 950. You can use it on Ticketmaster to purchase tickets today before they go on sale tomorrow. VIP $9.50. WIBX Utica, Rome.
Loss in court. I'm Dave Anthony. Fox News. An appeals court rejects the latest attempt by the former president to prevent ex-VP Mike Pence from testifying before a grand jury.
That jury's investigating efforts to undo the results of the 2020 election. They're also looking into the January 6 riots, which sent Pence into hiding at a docking bay on Capitol Hill while protesters chanted, "Hang Mike Pence." Pence had opposed testifying but dropped the idea of appealing to a court to block his appearance. It's not clear when Pence may testify.
Fox's Jill Nato. In New York City, author E. Jean Carroll will be back on the stand at a civil trial. She testified the former president raped her in a store dressing room decades ago, then defamed her, denying it. Trump again on social media called Carroll's lawsuit a made-up scam. And he is still the Republican frontrunner by far, the 2024 presidential race in a new Fox News poll.
53% of Republican primary voters say they'd support former President Donald Trump as the 2024 GOP presidential nominee.
The only other potential candidate in double digits is Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who's 32 points behind Trump.
62% of Democratic primary voters say they'd support President Biden's bid for re-election. 19% showing support for challengers Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and 9% for Marianne Williamson.
Fox's Kristen Goodwin. House Republicans have approved a plan to attach spending cuts and more to raising the debt limit ahead of a possible U.S. default. But the plan is dead in the Democrat-led Senate. The Air National Guardsman charged with posting U.S. intelligence online is due back in court today.
The government says accused leaker Jack Teixeira may still have access to classified information that could be used by a hostile nation willing to offer him safe harbor, so they want him to stay in federal custody.
That's Fox's Sean Langell. Much of that intelligence leaked related to the war in Ukraine. America's listening to Fox News.
On 9/11, our nation made a commitment to never forget. Since then, it's been the Tunnel to Towers Foundation honoring those words with action. So many people gave their lives while saving others on 9/11. Tunnel to Towers carries forward that legacy of courage and heroism by honoring our country's military and first responder heroes, people who are willing to die for you and me. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at t2t.org. That's T2t.org.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
We have mostly cloudy skies. Much of that fog is gone, but still some lingering. 33 degrees. It is 8:03. This news update is brought to you by Cliff's Local Market. They keep you going. The Oneida County Sheriff's Office continues to investigate a fatal crash on Route 5. The collision happened yesterday when 60-year-old Mary Kay Neville was driving on Route 5 in Vernon. Authorities say her vehicle crossed the center line and struck a vehicle driven by 77-year-old Viola Ducati. Neville's vehicle then struck another vehicle before it wound up in a ditch. A passenger in Ducati's vehicle was killed. The drivers were injured, but authorities say their injuries are not considered to be life-threatening. The accident investigation is ongoing. Congressman Brandon Williams announcing an upcoming town hall meeting with constituents is being rescheduled due to the death of his mother-in-law. A town hall that was set for May 2nd in Camillus has now been pushed back to May 19th. Town halls set for May 30th in Fayetteville and June 1st in Clay will go on as planned. The Republican Williams represents New York's 22nd congressional district, that is Oneida, Madison, and Onondaga counties, along with a portion of Oswego County. Governor Kathy Hochul and state lawmakers say they've reached a deal to phase out gas hookups as part of the New York State budget that is still being negotiated. The deal calls for ending natural gas hookups in newly constructed buildings 7 stories or less by the end of 2026, with very few exceptions. In 2028, all new construction would no longer be allowed to have gas hookups. New Yorkers, though, will still be able to replace an old gas stove with a new gas stove. A press release sent out by the Village of Herkimer Wednesday evening claims that former Herkimer Village Mayor Mark Nettie had an unpaid water bill written off while he was in office, and he was allowed to avoid late fees that other residents were subjected to. Acting Village Clerk Amanda Viscomi conducting an investigation. She sent out that release to members of the media last night. The release claims that then Mayor Mark Nettie failed to pay a more than $800 water bill while he was mayor of the village, and instead of the debt being re-levied into his tax bill, she says it was written off by the village while he was still mayor. Nettie was mayor of the village from 2018 until June of 2022 when he lost the village election to Mayor Dana Sherry. According to the clerk's office, she sent a demand letter to Mr. Nettie for payment. She says Nettie promptly paid that $810 bill in cash on March 14th of 2023, but she says there were additional irregularities occurring between June of 2020 and December of 2021. You can read more on this story on our website at WIBX950.com. And similar to what we've been talking about here this morning during the last segment and next segment, a custodian who works in the Schoharie Central School District is in some serious trouble with law enforcement. He's been arrested for allegedly having child pornography. Troopers say that 50-year-old James Lethgo was taken into custody yesterday and now faces multiple felony charges. The superintendent of the district says Lethgo did not have any direct contact with students as part of his job with the district, and he has been placed on leave. Lethgo was issued an appearance ticket and is due to answer the charges in court next month. Your WIBX Weather Center forecast comes to you from Clinton Tractor, the leader in service, celebrating 70 years in business, 3 generations and counting. You can visit them online at clintontractor.net.
I'm Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint in the WIBX Weather Center. The pick of the week today, bright sunshiny sky, milder, a high near 60. Tonight clear to partly cloudy, a low of 37. And Friday mainly dry through evening, increasing clouds with a few spotty showers late, a high of 62. For more on your local forecast, tune to Eyewitness News at 6 on WUTR. I'm meteorologist Craig Flint on WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM.
Much of that fog is gone, but a chilly start still, 33 degrees at 8:07. All right, it is NFL draft night. We'll be talking about this for the next couple of days, but it's almost like the Jets have already had a draft because they have a new quarterback, former Packers legend Brett Favre, sharing his thoughts on the Aaron Rodgers trade to the Jets. Favre telling ESPN that Aaron will do great in New York, and he thinks he's the best at making everyone around him better. Favre was traded from the Packers actually to the Jets back in 2008 during training camp. Rodgers then took over as the starting quarterback in Green Bay that season. Yesterday, Aaron Rodgers was officially introduced to the New York media as a Jet for the first time. Big night last night for the Knicks for the first time in a decade. The Knicks move on to round 2 of the NBA playoffs. They advance after topping the Cavaliers 106-95 in Game 5. Jalen Brunson led the Knicks with 23 points. Again, it's the first time the Knicks have won a series since 2013. They will now host. They are a host team now. The Miami Heat in Game 1 of the East semifinals coming up on Sunday. Miami, another team that has been red hot. Hockey playoffs, the Hudson River rivalry is down to the best of 3. The Devils and Rangers tied at 2 games apiece, entering Game 5 tonight in Newark. New Jersey coming off back-to-back victories at MSG. The Islanders taking things a game at a time. They trail their best-of-7 series 3-2 to the Carolina Hurricanes. The Isles look to force a winner-take-all Game 7 when they host the Canes in Game 6 tomorrow night in New York. Speaking of hockey playoffs, the Utica Comets open round 2 of the AHL playoffs tonight on the road. They'll visit the Toronto Marlies for Game 1 of that series. The Comets are due to host Game 3 of the series coming up on Wednesday night at the Adirondack Bank Center. Baseball, the Yankees salvaged the series finale against Minnesota. They beat the Twins 12-6. Domingo Germán gets credited with the victory. And the Mets have lost the first 2 games in their series against the Nationals. 4-1 was the final last night. Kodai Senga taking his first loss as a Met. The Mets are now second in the NL East at 14-11. The series against the Nationals wraps up today.
So they'll play today. The Comets we're talking about. They'll play today. That's tonight in Toronto. They'll play Saturday night in Toronto, and then they will be back here on Wednesday of next week.
Wednesday, yes.
Is that right? Okay. So that's going to be an exciting series, and this one is best out of 5.
5, yes.
Okay. All right, in studio right now is Cameron Decker. What's the name of your, if people wanted to search for your channel on YouTube, what do they search for?
It's under Carolina PP. So it's 2 words, technically, Carolina, and then capital P, capital P.
Okay.
We actually have 2 channels. So the bigger channel is where we do all of our live events on when we do the live confrontations. And then the secondary channel is where we post the videos.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. It stands for Carolina Predator Poachers.
Okay, all right. We're going to speak with a little more on this topic here. It's as I said, 23 years ago, we were doing a radio show, and AOL had, I think it was chat, and somebody had said, if you go in and claim to be like a 13-year-old or 14-year-old girl, you get hit on, hit after hit after hit by adults who are trying to hook up with you. Mm-hmm. And so we did exactly what you're doing. We posed and taped the whole thing, and it was unbelievable.
Did you have them,
disgusting.
Did you have them show up here to meet?
We did not.
Okay.
No, I put them on my best of CD and exposed them that way. But that was a different time.
Yeah, that works.
Well, I mean, it was just it was awful, and interestingly, the person we ended up connecting with didn't care whether it was a boy or a girl. They just
cared that it was an underage person,
underage, and wanted to meet. So what was that?
Wow.
What were they trying to do there?
Jesus.
Right? I mean, is that an abduction possibility? Who knows?
Well,
it's terrible.
Do you have any thoughts on this? Is it a does how do I want to say this? Do you find that some people, if you have an opinion on this, enjoy the manipulation, the fact that they are the quote adult in the room, the authority? What? Other than some sexual perversion,
I think it's all sexual perversion.
Yeah, I'm not a psychologist, but just based off of some of these guys and how bad that the chat logs get sometimes or out of hand, it's almost like they seem to enjoy the hunt, up until the meetup. Like,
when they find out it's actually you with your camera, that's not enjoyable at that point. But my guess is they want to hook up, right?
Yeah, and another thing, too, is sometimes they'll be like, oh, this is probably going to be somebody chasing me around the parking lot with a camera, but then they still show up, and it's like, I think their desires outweigh the logical thing.
So they're fearing that it's someone like you.
Yeah, or
they're
the
hoping
police.
it's not, and they're willing to risk everything, though.
Yep. So Town, for example, my most recent catch a couple weeks ago in Lowville, I said that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Lowville, most of the local residents there probably don't think that the local PD has a proactive task force where they go online and chat with online child predators. And I was only there a couple days, and from the looks of it, I doubt that they do. So I don't think the guy that I caught was expecting it to be me. I think he legitimately believed it was going to be a 14-year-old boy that showed up at his house.
Okay.
Now, what happened from there? You're live streaming this. At what point do you contact the authorities? I believe you said it was state police in this particular example.
Yeah.
And then where does it go from there?
So halfway through the interview, the reason I live stream it is so a couple people that I'm close to have the address. If anything goes crazy, they have the address. They can call the authorities right away. In this particular case, I have a code word. I dropped it in the middle of my questioning, and it was seamless. He had no idea the police were on the way. I was able to get about 30 minutes of video of questioning him. He admitted to actually having relations with a real 15-year-old for 3 years.
Oh, my goodness.
That 15-year-old's now 18 years old, and we would like to know who that is, but it makes it a little bit difficult when people in that area are unfamiliar with what I do or my channels. who the person is, and then, the state police don't arrest him or charge him, well, now he's not going to be in the news. So.
Yeah.
Now, can I ask, when you say you dropped the code word, is this a code word that you drop because you feel like you're in danger, or you feel like you've captured enough admissions that if the police arrive, they actually have a reason to take a person into custody?
I'd say, this particular case, I just dropped it because I felt like I had enough, and I would have enough by the time the police showed up. I have to be strategic. I feel like George Bush over here.
Some strategery.
Thank you. But yeah, so basically I dropped it, and I knew I'd have at least 15 to 20 minutes, considering I was in the middle of nowhere. Figured it would take them a minute to get there. But they got there when they got there. I knew that they weren't going to arrest him on site, it being Troop D. I don't have very good luck when it comes to the state police and Troop D, but Troop G is fantastic. They made an arrest in Richfield Springs last time I was here. It really just depends who the investigators are.
Well, and a lot of them fear that there's one thing that they can make an arrest, then they have to be able to try to figure out how they're going to convict. And the question is your intention to get them convicted, or is your intention to embarrass them and they lose their job, they lose business, who knows what?
Shame them.
Yeah. Public shaming.
So I'll say this first. It's not my place to publicly shame them or.
Well, you are, though. I mean, you're posting.
Well, yeah, for the awareness side of it, but I'm not gonna try and personally ruin their lives. Like, I'm not gonna call. Like, the last two cases I did in Florida, everybody on the internet was shouting at me, "Oh, call his wife, call his wife." That's not my place. I'll let the police do that.
Right. I'm not sure that it is the police that end up doing it. I think the fact that you're on YouTube, word gets around very, very quickly. That's what we found in the cases that you did here is word travels. You don't have to be on the radio. Word travels fast. YouTube is highly used, and once one person sees it, they share it, and all of a sudden that spreads like wildfire.
I believe the only times that I'm interested in really making sure everybody knows around them is that they have kids underage or they work around kids.
Yeah.
Those are important situations where people do need to be made aware of it. I will say, since I've been here last time, I have 5 convictions now. One, I believe, here in New York, 1 in New Jersey, and then 3 in North Carolina. So it is.
These are people who've gone to court. They've gone to court. They've been convicted and gone to jail.
And they all pled out.
Okay.
Because when it comes down to the evidence, the chat logs are what they are. The police usually take the predator's phones. They see the same thing on that phone as what I presented, and then you have the video. You had the video of them showing up to meet, or me coming over, to where the decoy was invited. When either of those actions take place, whether I go to them or they come to me, that proves the intent of the messages, and then the messages kind of show what was supposed to take place.
Yeah, okay.
So it's actually pretty solid cases. I mean, of course, it's every case is different, but most of these things, they end up playing out because there's no way to really fight it.
What do you want? I mean, you mentioned earlier the importance, if anything, people take anything away from this, it is to keep an eye on where your kids are online, especially when they're younger, and even very difficult teen years where hormones are going crazy. You get online, you think you're talking to someone, as a kid, you think you're speaking to someone who's maybe another 13 or 14-year-old, when in reality it is just that, a predator. What do you want parents to know? And I know you mentioned the app Bark. If you wanted to look that up, is a really good app to be able to keep track of what your kids are doing online.
Yes, sir. And I will say this, kids as young as 5 years old aren't safe, even online. There's a lot of apps like, can't remember off the top of my head, but Fortnite, it's a gaming app, but there's a place where kids can chat on there.
There is. My kids were on that. That's been around for a long time.
Yeah, and I've had decoys as young as 6 years old before that have been hit up even.
Oh, my goodness.
So The thing is, it's like if the parents are hounding their kids constantly, day in and day out, like multiple times a day, or just don't let your kid have a phone unless you're sitting right next to them. Unfortunately, in 2023, everything's on the internet now.
Yeah.
And the scary part about it is there's not a lot of safeguards. And my second bone to pick is with the tech companies like, we'll say Grindr. Grindr's commonly a gay dating hookup app. When we decoy on there, it's because there's a lot of young, confused males that don't want to come out to their parents, so they feel like it's a safe place where they can go to like-minded adults on there. And unfortunately, the adults on there, some of them don't care that it's a kid and don't block them. They entertain it.
Right.
So
Not all, some.
Some, yeah. Not
It'd be nice
all,
if it was the
all
minority.
the predators that are on there is what
Right,
I'm saying.
right.
Yeah, they all go for it. But yeah. So like, I wish big tech companies would require at least a credit card to sign up on these apps or some kind of safeguards. There's good apps out there like Tinder and Hinge. For example, we can't decoy on those right now because every time we age drop, we say, hey, I'm 14. The algorithms pick it up immediately and ban us.
So that's telling you that the algorithm could do this.
Yep.
But not all. They're not doing it on all sites.
I honestly believe it should be a law for all these tech companies to require that.
Yeah. By the way, if your kid is 13 years old and he or she is on an app called Grindr, that should be your first clue. Yeah. Probably not an age-appropriate app.
Speaking of apps here, Jason and Herkimer, I did ask this question, but let's quickly recap here because I know a lot of people might be on their way to work in the morning. As a parent, what app should we be looking for when we check our children's devices? I believe you mentioned Telegram, Kik, and WhatsApp as encrypted apps that are often used by predators. Is that accurate to say?
Predators, and then obviously, curious kids can get on those as well. There's another app, it looks like a calculator that the kids can hide these apps in. So the parent might be going through the phone and see a calculator and think, oh, this is a calculator. But meanwhile, it's password protected. A kid could put apps and lock them in there. That's
do you know the name of that app?
I can look it up.
And then while you check that, I just want to mention as well, you mentioned Bark. And what Bark allows you to do, this is actually a good app, Cameron was explaining, because if you have a young child or if you have a child, it allows you to essentially mirror the phone in that it tells you what apps are on your child's phone. It allows you to lock your child out of their own phone, and it also can put time restrictions on there. So if you go to bed at night and you think your kid's up till 3 o'clock in the morning on apps, even if they're just playing games, it will allow you to put a time restriction on there and lock it at certain points.
Yeah.
Yep, and you can find that in the App Store on Apple and also Google Play. It's called Calculator Hide Photos. There's another one called Secret Photo Vault. They're common apps that anybody
they can be used in a positive way. An adult could be using it. The problem is, for every good piece of technology, there's a bad way to use that.
Or if
and by the way, some of these apps that are meant for children, a guy could be spying on his wife without her knowing it. So this technology is really has many good uses, but at the same time can be used nefariously.
Also, I'd say Facebook and Instagram are other apps too that parents should be concerned about. Facebook
and Instagram, two of the most popular apps in the world.
Something that a parent could do with Facebook, which would be pretty easy. I don't see any reason why, unless kids talking to their friends, but you could do that through regular text. The messaging app is separate on Facebook from the Facebook app. So if you just restrict the messaging app, well, now the kid can only, go on Facebook to comment on friends and everything's public. Instagram and Facebook have a vanishing mode. So a predator typically will swipe up to do the vanishing mode, so now it's encrypted. So it deletes all the messages, kind of similar. Another app is Snapchat that parents need to be concerned about.
So then there's no evidence when it's all said and done.
That one.
All right, Cameron Decker. Yep.
Lance and Lee wants to know, and I think this is a question. Bill, I might have asked you this question yesterday, but this is in regard to Cameron. Were you basically run out of town by local law enforcement and district attorneys? I know we spoke to the Herkimer County DA several months over a year ago.
Who told you don't come to Herkimer County.
Well, I'll say this first. Nobody can run me out of town. Everything I do is legal. But I genuinely like to go to places where the police do want to work with me so we can get something done and actually get these guys prosecuted. So what I'd say to his question is, yeah, when the DA said he wasn't going to press charges on the substitute high school teacher, which I thought was like,
that's Herkimer County.
That was a really big case. When he wasn't going to do that, I figured, okay.
You're wasting your time there. Yeah.
Right. So if Oneida is going to send them to grand jury, then I'll just get the Preds to come from Herkimer to Oneida County and catch them.
But at the end of the day, though, when you think about it, you say I'm wasting my time. I believe in that case, that person immediately resigned from their job. So,
I don't want to say wasting my time, but to get the maximum effect. So
right, I understand.
The number one thing I try and do is get them arrested so we can try for a conviction so they're on paper. My second thing is the exposures, putting them on the internet. I could do what the police can't do.
Right.
I can post videos as an investigative journalist. It's my right. And, I think no matter what, even if the police don't make an arrest, there's still a difference to be made. There's still awareness that's being presented out there to parents. So I'm not going to give up.
And the awareness is so important, just to be. Kids are brilliant at when they're trying to protect themselves or there's something they're really passionate about. Not every kid. Some kids probably don't, but, think of your own self and how far you'd go to make sure you don't get in trouble. And kids are pretty clever, and they will out-clever you.
Yep.
Especially when you're dealing with devices like cell phones and apps and all that stuff.
And let me just say thank you as well. Even coming on to spread awareness and education, if we can call that, to remind us that there are dangers out there that we need to be aware of our kids. I have a young son, so I really appreciate this, and I thank you for at a minimum, spreading the information. Whether or not there are any local arrests is secondary, and I don't even want to use the term this way, but as like a bonus, that you've gotten these people off the streets. But the education is very important. Once again, your YouTube pages.
It's Carolina PP.
PP.
And also, if people want to reach out to me, so say people go there and they see the video of the individual that I just caught in Lowville.
Yeah.
They can email me at webpredpatrol. That was my old channel name. It's webpredpatrol@gmail.com. You can reach out to me there if you have any questions. Also, if any law enforcement has any questions out there and they're listening to this, they can reach out to me there as well.
Lowville's not that far. In fact, our signal pumps up into Lowville pretty strongly. You might look on that YouTube page and know someone. So check it out. See what you might know.
Yes, sir.
All right. Interesting. Okay, Cameron. Thank you for the update.
Thank you for having me on.
Good luck out there. It's 8 and be safe. What you're doing is very dangerous. 8:28 at WIBX.
From Lincoln Center Theater that brought you The King and I and South Pacific comes a sumptuous new revival of the most perfect musical of all time, My Fair Lady. The New York Times calls it thrilling, glorious, and better than it ever was. Don't miss the smashing, jubilant Lincoln Center Theater production of My Fair Lady.
Broadway Utica presents My Fair Lady, May 1st and 2nd at the Stanley Theater. For tickets, visit BroadwayUtica.org or call 315-724-4000.
Curtis Lumber's Customer Appreciation Days are back. For 3 days only, May 4th through May 6th, Curtis Lumber will pay the sales tax on your purchase. Not sure what you need for your project? Buy a gift card and Curtis Lumber will load the sales tax amount onto the gift card as a bonus. For full details and in-store specials, visit curtislumber.com/customer appreciation. Don't miss tax-free savings days, May 4th through the 6th at Curtis Lumber.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/radio. That's forhims.com/radio for your free online visit. forhims.com/radio.
Are you ready to make the most important decision for your child's future? Some are easy, some are not. Some make all the difference, like choosing Notre Dame schools. Offering grades pre-K through 12, your child will be ready to learn and thrive in a challenging atmosphere surrounded by great teachers and the most current technology. Notre Dame offers small class sizes, high academic standards, and spiritual fulfillment. At Notre Dame, we foster an environment of diversity and community. Students feel supported and more confident in achieving their goals. Our students learn from each other and are challenged to grow and develop their innate talents. Notre Dame is faith-based, but everyone is welcome. If you have higher expectations for your child, Notre Dame offers a higher level experience. If you're ready to launch your child's future into the most successful career path and build the next generation of leaders, call today for a tour or visit NotreDameUtica.org. Notre Dame schools, ready to learn, destined to lead.
It's truck season. Are you in the market for a powerful, reliable truck? Check out the 2023 Chevy Silverado Crew Cab 4x4 All-Star Edition at Steve Ponte Chevrolet. With Silverado's robust engine and four-wheel drive capabilities, this truck is built to conquer anything. Right now, take advantage of some incredible incentives. You'll find new roads and save when you get 0% financing for 36 months. Or take advantage of up to $5,250 in total value savings. Is leasing more your style? Get a 3-year, 30,000-mile lease for $487 a month. See why it's always easy to do business at Steve Ponte Chevrolet in Herkimer. Stock number 23098. Purchase must have 2009 or newer Chevrolet in household. $37.50 total rebate plus $1,500 engine credit. Lease offer must have current lease in household. Mileage penalty of 25 cents per mile over 30,000 miles. Offers must qualify top tier through GM Financial. All taxes and fees due on delivery plus $1,000 in first payment due on lease. Must take delivery by 5/1/2023.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 3.5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/free. Ramp.com/free. ramp.com/free.
The Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills is accepting new patients. Are you in need of a new primary physician, a new family doctor? A family doctor is so important. And the Falcon Clinic has opened its doors. You can become a new patient at the Falcon Clinic at a time when sometimes it's very hard to find a place to go. Your doctor's not accepting new patients, or your doctor's just retired, et cetera, et cetera. The Falcon Clinic, call today. They're accepting new patients. And also, if you're dealing with issues that you've been from doctor to doctor and you just can't seem to figure it out, the Falcon Clinic is a great choice as the area's premier osteopathic medical clinic. Reach out today. Dr. Shemaleski, Dr. Zielinski, others. There's an acupuncturist, counselors, all under one roof at the Falcon Clinic. Call today at 315-507-4751. If you're in need of a new family doctor, 315-507-4751. The Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
And I should add the official coffee of the Keeler in the Morning radio program is from Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. Try their most amazing, the donuts and the bagels are made fresh every day. And, of course, there is the coffee, the Daylight Donuts coffee, which is Seattle's best. The drive-thru, lightning fast. You're in and out. You're on your way. It's Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. And it's 8:34. Manaski was injured last night. We talked about it earlier. Injured last night while umping. Yeah. What terrible thing happened? It must have been spectacular.
Yes, I will say I wound up going grass over tea kettle, if you will. A kid was stealing third base. A base runner was stealing third base. So I was trying to get in the proper position. The way they instruct you to do this properly is at some point when the play is about to be made, you need to set your feet. Think of, they tell you to keep your head steady in golf. Otherwise, you're going to miss the ball.
Right.
In baseball, they say keep your head steady. Umpiring, you want to have a set position where your head is focused, whether you're calling balls or strikes, or if you're looking for an out or safe or a tag or whatever it might be, so that you're not all over and you're getting a blurred vision of what you're trying to look at. So I go to plant my foot. I kind of turned my ankle. The other foot slid out from under me. It's funny. I didn't hear anybody chuckle out loud. I think there was some serious concern that I was really injured.
Did you really go right down on your...
Oh, I went down on my back. I had water spots on my side. Oh, I went down.
Wow.
Yeah, I rolled my ankle. Like I said, I've been fitted for a cast, but only for my pride.
Okay.
I'm hobbling around a little bit here.
You also said you made a rough call. You had
two rough calls,
But
yeah.
you handled at least one of them. You handled it by having the home plate umpire come in. You told him you made a mistake. And he overruled your call, and that ended perfectly.
Correct, and it ended with the right call. Also, this play on the stolen base at third where I fell down, now as I kind of sit up and I look over, everybody's looking at me for a call. And again, I missed the tail end of the play. So I go safe. Somebody yelled, the throw beat him, and I said, timeout. I went to my home plate umpire, who's the umpire-in-chief. I said, Tuck, I
missed
didn't see it.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. What'd you
I
see
saw
there?
the blades of grass pretty clearly.
Yes,
but that's
I
all.
did. And he said no, he was out. So, and we overruled it, and I appreciate his assistance there. It's important to get the call right.
You want to get it right. Stefan Rubitsky is in studio here this morning. Just a big surprise for me when he was here bright and early. What do you have?
Well, whatever happened to the old saying, call them as you see them,
Yeah.
Well, again, sometimes you see them wrong. I'll mention the other play that I asked for assistance on, and I hate to admit this, but you got to own it, and you got to learn from it. I got it wrong. They tell you, and we were instructed in the course, and again, the umpires have been doing this for a long time.
Ask for help.
Well, but what they tell you is there's no rush. It's not like a shot clock where you got to make the call within a second or 2 seconds. Process what you saw, and then make the call. And there was a play at first base. It wasn't necessarily a close play, but the throw came. It was in the dirt. First baseman had a nice pick, a nice scoop. But as he brought the glove up, the ball went straight up in the air. Now, I see the ball go up, so my instinct is he's going to be safe. So I start motioning safe. Too early, like I was in a rush. The ball comes back down in the glove. Then the base runner steps on the base. He was out, but I'm already standing there kind of with my arms out thinking.
Couldn't you reverse the call and then yourself? Couldn't you do that yourself?
I know that looks sloppy, and so what I just did is I immediately called time. I pointed to my home plate ump, and I said, Tuck, I got that wrong, didn't I? I went over to him. He said, yeah. He regained control before he got the base.
If I were an ump, here's how I would handle it. First of all, the one where you slipped and fell.
Yeah.
You got a guy yelling from the stands. You're up in the air. Boom, you're in trouble. I would have immediately gotten up, brushed myself off, and pulled out a quarter and flipped a coin. Be like, all right, heads or tails? Which one do you want? Okay.
Doesn't work like that.
And then at first base, when you missed the call, and you know you did it wrong, I would have immediately gone to the stands and said, "What do you guys think?" And then poll people in the crowd and make your call. None of that would really work.
We got $10 for a safe, $10 for a safe. 24 and out, 24 and out.
That might be the way to go. The other thing is I remember when my son was playing, this was a long time ago, he was playing and there was a call. It was definitely wrong. It was an absolute wrong call at first base. Ended the game, ended the team's season, basically. And it was a playoff game, so it was all over, season over.
Mm-hmm.
And but there was a fan in the audience, even had to be 12 years ago, 13 years ago, 14 years ago. There was a fan in the crowd. It was a father who videotaped it on his phone and was trying to get them to use that as an instant replay. You could clearly see the call was wrong, but this refused to do what you did.
I don't know what...
And it was a wrong call.
I don't know the actual language and if this is included. I don't remember seeing this in the rule book, but this was a question that came up during our class, and here was essentially the explanation. A coach, an umpire, a parent, a player, they are allowed to videotape, okay? But you're not
allowed to use.
Yeah, this is not Major League Baseball where I can go get a second look. I can ask my other umpire for assistance. Did I miss that? What did you see?
Yeah.
But I cannot stop the game,
This
go
ump
look
and
at someone's cell phone or video, and then overrule a call based on,
This ump, and I hope he doesn't take this critically. I've told him in the past, he completely blew this call, and it was like a full stride. It was a bad call, but he refused to let anybody else. He didn't go to the home plate ump to make the call, and he wouldn't allow the father to use that as an instant replay.
And he shouldn't have.
I agree with that. Listen to this. In New Jersey, a town there has implemented a new rule that if you argue with a Little League umpire, you're going to need to ump 3 games before you'll be allowed to come back as a spectator. Yes.
Well, you know what though? This is a good way to get a little side job.
This is
if I'm a parent at my son's game and I'm like, you know what? I could use some dinner money tonight. I start arguing the call, and then I'm on the books for the next 3 games.
The town implemented the rule after 2 umpires left the league because of unruly and horrible parents.
Yeah.
Here is Deptford Township Little League president Don Bozuffi and parent Caitlin Tokley talking about the new rule. Again, the new rule is you get punished and you have to ump 3 games, and then you'll be allowed to come back to watch your kid. Here's what they have to say about it.
They're coming here, they're being abused, they don't need that, so they're walking away. You are not allowed to come onto our complex until you complete 3 umpire assignments. Once you do that, then we'll let you come back.
If the parents are going to be sitting there yelling the whole entire game, they might as well use that energy out on the field.
Okay.
Can I tell you, first of all, the gentleman there, Bozuffi?
Yeah.
How's that spelled?
B-O-Z.
Yeah, I'd call him Bozo if he blew a call on the field. Hey, Bozo.
Correct.
Yeah. But here's the thing, though. Look, I know it's youth sports, right? But it should be taken seriously. So you're just going to take a mother or a father, an aunt and uncle, an older brother, an older sister.
Right.
You don't like what they said in the stands, and then you're going to throw them out in the field and make them a game official? I don't think I like this.
I think it's a dumb way to fix this problem.
The second thing is,
personally,
if they're saying something that's truly out of line, I believe you have the option to ban them. You can restrict them, maybe to a parking lot, or you can say,
you're out of here.
Yeah, you're out of here.
Yeah. How about this story? This involves kids, but not athletes. A Georgia man has been charged after blocking the path of a school bus and demanding the name and address of a child who he says flipped his wife off with a flip-off gesture. The kid was on the school bus. The bus was going by. The kid flips off the woman.
Okay.
The guy gets infuriated by this, stands in front of the bus, won't let the bus leave, and he wants the kid's name. Here are 2 mothers of kids on the bus, April Baker and Scarlett Rutherford, talking about what they witnessed during the entire situation.
Everything goes through your mind. What if my child is hurt? I'm just flabbergasted that a grown man would have that kind of response in front of children.
I had no idea what he was capable of, if he had a gun on him.
Okay. Well, I guess you can see how people would be nervous.
How old's the kid?
These were like middle schoolers.
Yeah, this is not appropriate. I mean, I understand you're being offended that that your wife's been flipped off here, but what are you going to fight the kid?
Unbelievable. And Aaron Rodgers did his first press conference yesterday as a new member of the New York Jets. Here's some of what he had to say yesterday.
This is a surreal day for me. After spending 18 years in the same city, I'm here because I believe in this team. I believe in Coach Saleh. But big thanks to the Jets organization. Obviously, a big thanks to the Green Bay Packer organization for an incredible run. That chapter is over now, and I'm excited about the new adventure here in New York. I'm an old guy, so I want to be a part of a team that can win it all, and I believe that this is a place we can get that done.
From the Bay to the gang, right?
Yes, and a couple of thoughts. One is there's probably a couple of neighborhoods in New York that might be bigger than the population of Green Bay, right? And the other thing he had to go away on these retreats, right? Was it ayahuasca that he was
I don't know
using?
what he was doing.
And then he did the darkness retreat. I'll tell you, there's probably a place in New York where you can get this stuff, black market. You probably wouldn't have to go overseas or get on an airplane. You probably just go down to the end of the road.
He's probably going to need it after this season. I just have a feeling. And then we mentioned Jimmy Fallon tickets go on sale tomorrow, 10 a.m. on Ticketmaster. And you'll be able to get up there. It's for the November 11th show coming to the Stanley Theater. Jimmy Fallon and Kennedy as they present the Laughs and Liberty Tour. Jimmy will be talking about it later on today on his show from noon till 3 on WIBX. And also will be on the radio with us tomorrow morning to check that out as well. So it's the Laughs and Liberty Tour with Jimmy Fallon and Kennedy from Fox News. And it's November 11th. And now tickets go on sale tomorrow. But I do have a code for VIPs. And I'd like to add in, if you're a listener of this program or Jimmy's program, as a little bonus, I'll tell you the code. You'd go to Ticketmaster. In order to buy tickets, you'd have to type in the code. Once you type in, you have carte blanche to be able to purchase the tickets. Search the Laughs and Liberty Tour. Don't search Jimmy Fallon. The Laughs and Liberty Tour. And the code you'll want to put in is VIP 950.
VIP 950.
VIP 950.
And that allows you to get tickets today instead of having to wait till tomorrow.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
So as a loyal listener and a loyal fan of Jimmy Fallon, there you go. All right, Devin, what do we have? You have phone lines in there. Davey is out the door, and Devin is sitting in here. What do we have? Oops, hold on. I got you over here.
Wayne, who also wants to talk about Aaron Rodgers.
Wayne and Larry, both of them in here. All right, let's start with Larry. Good morning, Larry. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Hey, Bill. How you doing?
Good. What's up?
I think you're looking forward to the draft this year since your baseball team is about to really go tanking it.
I think you're wrong. I think we're going to win the World Series. Come on, Larry.
No,
you're also a Mets fan.
I know, but I'm a realistic fan. So
well,
they
I'm
lost
not.
4 in a
I'm
row.
not.
They lost 4 in a row. They should lose again today, and then they got 4 with the Braves. There's a good shot they lose 8 out of 9, 7 out of 9. I mean, if you look at the in your man Lindor hitting a whopping like 214, 215.
I understand, but Lindor has been hot. He and actually the team offensively is in a slump. I'm frustrated too. However, Larry, it's April, man.
I know.
It's April.
Yeah, but usually it's done by Mother's Day or Father's Day. The Mets are usually out of the
no,
it went a little longer.
It's usually 4th of July. Come on.
Yeah. But if you look at the batting order, the only ones hitting is Nemo and McNeil. Go look at the batting averages of the rest of the team.
I know. I understand. I mean,
Escobar's not hitting. There's nobody hitting.
When
they
you
don't
think
have hitters.
when you think about it, that was a good pitching performance last night for the Mets, and they scored 1 run. They should have won that game. That was a game that they should have won.
Bill, they struck out 28 times the last 2 games against the Washington Nationals, who had 7 wins coming into the series.
I understand, but they also just came off a West Coast trip that they actually fared pretty well on. I mean, you got to look at everything. Look at the big picture here, Wayne. I mean, Larry.
Okay, so you still have confidence then in them?
I do. You
don't think they need hitters? They need hitters. They don't have
I
any
do
hitters.
think they need. I think they have hitters. I think these hitters need to shake it off. I'm just Larry. I'm seeing because Devin, never take Larry's name down until after I'm done with the call. All right, sorry because I keep calling him Wayne. Larry, all I'm saying to you is I'm still a believer at this point.
Okay, another month we'll call you, and when they're having even more troubles.
By then, I might be like, man, you were right. This is terrible.
All right, thanks, Bill.
Thank you, Larry.
Thanks for the call, Larry. Nagel says it's never too early to give up on the Mets. They'll be 7 games back by the All-Star break.
That is possible. It is possible. Stefan, do you want to add to that?
with our owner, Steve Cohen, he wants to win a World Series. He's the biggest fan, and he'll make a trade at the deadline if need be.
Okay. Wayne. Good morning, Wayne. Good morning.
What's up, man?
Yeah, I just I was looking at that interview or whatever to call it on ESPN about Rodgers, and it said that Mr. Trippy Hippie walked out onto the field with bare feet.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, did he really? Are you kidding me?
He walked out with,
oh, my God. Yeah. Yeah, he's become
getting too comfortable.
Yeah, before you know, he'll be walking in with the Dalai Lama or something, and they'll be sucking each other's tongue. I mean, come on.
Or dropping, what do you call it, dropping acid while he's playing and saying, man, it's no worse than marijuana.
Yeah, what a mess.
Or
listen,
eye drops like Jeff was doing.
the only thing I can tell you is that I feel like it definitely makes the Jets more of a contender. The Bills are going to have to take this very seriously, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It depends on.
He picked a real hard division to be a part of. That's for sure.
It depends. It really depends a lot on which Aaron Rodgers are we going to be looking at this year.
They did. The Jets actually looked halfway decent last year, and then they just fell apart.
Yeah.
You know, Wayne just gave, I think, the final scene for a future movie. Aaron Rodgers as the quarterback of the Jets, and let's say that it does turn out that they have a great year. Maybe they play in the Super Bowl. The final scene is that he's constantly under pressure during the game, right?
Right.
And who was our guy who came in and gave me the eye drops?
That was Tucker.
Yes, Tucker Rosemeyer. So he takes like those eye drops. And Rodgers goes, all right, I know what I'm going to do. And he puts the eye drops in. And then when you put those in, you can't see. And they're like, Rodgers, how are you going to be able to see the defenders? But he's like a spiritual being now, right? So he's blinded, but he's ducking and dodging these defenders. Yes. And then he knows his man's open in the end zone. He drops back. He throws the pass. Game winner. That's how the movie ends. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, and his index fingers go to his thumbs, and he looks up, and he crosses his legs in the middle of the field barefooted, and that's it.
We'll see what happens, Wayne. Thank you, man.
Thanks, guys.
All right, have a great day. Coming up, we'll speak with John Decker from Gray TV. Great topics that he's following. He is with the White House. He's with the White House Press Corps, the only attorney, by the way, in the Press Corps. River Hills Properties is the fastest-growing real estate company in all of central New York. And as Andrew will tell you, Bill and Robin say the same thing. This is all about the extra effort put into assisting you in selling your home. And when we say extra effort, these are services not provided by other real estate agencies. You'll find it around the country, but not here. Your listing agent is there every time your house is shown. That is enormous. If there's a question from a potential buyer, if you want to make sure the lights are on, that the house is tidied up, you're putting your best foot forward. That's the River Hills way. They start with you at the very beginning and don't leave you. They have your back right up until the end. Why wouldn't you list with River Hills? If you're thinking about selling your home, call River Hills Properties. They have offices in Barnaville, Little Falls, Utica, but they service all of upstate New York. River Hills Properties, LLC.com online, or call them at 315-896-1009. Quick break. Quick. John Decker is next on WIBX.
We invest in Herkimer and Oneida counties. We work with the community to make things better for old and young alike. Today, tomorrow, and in the years to come. Every day, we put the community's long-term savings to work. Who are we? We are the Community Foundation of Herkimer and Oneida counties.
FoundationHOC.org.
We're your community foundation,
working to build a vibrant region
with opportunity for all.
Hey, listen, with tax day last week, you might be wondering how to get more of a refund next year. Well, under the new Inflation Reduction Act, you can get back money on making energy improvements to your home, like new windows. And the experts at New York Sash have all the information you need to take advantage of it. Now, with the new energy rebates for 2023, you can get a tax credit of 30% off the cost of the new windows, up to $600. But even better than that, for a limited time, New York Sash will match your window tax credit install by installing brand new energy-efficient windows. They'll match it, which will bring you up from $600 to $1,200 for your window project. And they have all the details on how to walk you right through it. We're having at our home new New York Sash windows being installed at some point this spring. They just are awesome windows that help you save on energy and on your energy bill, and they're guaranteed for life. Restrictions may apply. Contact New York Sash for details.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All righty, here we go with John Decker from Gray TV on the line right now. John, good morning.
Good morning to you, Bill. Hope you're doing well today. Happy Thursday to you.
Happy Thursday to you, John, as Chief White House Correspondent with Gray TV. And, all right, let's start on the this is interesting, the Biden cheat sheet. What do we know about this?
Well, this has to do with a photograph taken by a good friend of mine. His name's Win McNamee, Pulitzer Prize-winning photographer for Getty Images, yesterday during that joint press conference that President Biden did with South Korean President Yoon. On the podium while he was conducting the press conference, Win McNamee took a photo of, I guess, what could be called a cheat sheet. It was a photograph. On this cheat sheet was a photograph of a reporter, her news outlet, and the question that she intended to ask the president. And this is getting a lot of attention because people want to know, is this the norm? Do you give questions to the White House in advance before getting called upon? I can tell you from my personal experience, I've never done that. I've worked with 16 White House press secretaries, every president since Bill Clinton's first term. I've never done that before. I can't say it hasn't been done before, but here we have photographic proof that it's been done in this particular case.
Yeah.
And this looks bad for everybody involved, Bill. It looks bad for the reporter, for the L.A. Times, her employer, and it looks bad for the White House and President Biden.
Yeah, so, and I'm assuming it followed suit. Did the president have a polished answer?
He did. I thought he had a very polished answer. I was thinking that in real time as he gave that answer. He goes, well, he really handled that pretty well. No stumbles, really knew that inside and out. The second question that was asked of the president, there's no photographic evidence of that particular reporter colluding with the White House in any way. It was a question that was posed regarding President Biden's age, whether he essentially is too old to run for a second term. My guess is that particular question did not get vetted by the White House. But what typically happens, Bill, is that a few days before an announced press conference, or you will, I email the White House press secretary saying I'd love to be called upon during the press conference. If you're lucky, the White House gets back to you. And what often happens is they ask you this question: what are you going to ask about? And my answer always has been the following, Bill. It is this: news of the day.
Yeah,
I'm not going to tell you exactly what I'm going to ask the president, but if the president's up to speed on news of the day, there are no gotcha questions. And, if they decide to give me the question and, they know they're going to get a fair question from me, it might be tough, but it's going to be fair, then all is well and good. My integrity is intact, but I've never given an exact question to the White House when being asked what I intend to ask the president by a member of the White House press office.
I got to say that Joe is asking the question here this morning. How was this done? Did the reporter say, here's the question I'm going to ask, or did the White House say, please ask this question?
Yeah, it's a fair question to ask.
Yeah.
And I think that today at the White House press briefing, which I will attend, I think that it's incumbent upon the White House press corps to really ask tough questions to Karine Jean-Pierre about how this all came to be. How did this all come about? Did this reporter say, if you call on me, here's my question in advance and spelling it out? Or was it more like my experience, which is, John, we're thinking about, calling on you tomorrow. What areas do you think you want to talk about? And I just say news of the day.
Yep.
That's all they're getting from me, news of the day. And I feel good about myself, and I feel good just giving them that heads up that I'm going to ask about a very topical question, nothing out of left field.
How often do you get called on?
At one of these particular events, which happen rarely, I have not been pre-selected by the White House to ask a question. You get a heads up. You're going to be called upon today. I have not, in the Biden administration, been given that heads up.
That's
because
shameful.
they haven't happened all that often, number one.
Right.
Right. Certainly during the Trump years, I did get that heads up. That,
Okay.
I would be called upon, but I never gave my question ahead of time.
Quickly, Tucker Carlson, your take on it. You're a guy that's left Fox News. He didn't say a word about his firing in a video release that
No, he didn't.
broke his silence yesterday.
Yeah, I was surprised as much as anybody when that news was announced on Monday of this week. It's pretty remarkable to fire your highest-rated host, which is what he was for Fox News, your most well-paid host, estimated $20 million annual salary. Curious to see what comes next for not only Tucker Carlson, but also who fills that slot at 8 p.m. on Fox. So a lot still needs to come out. But look, I think that Fox did that for a reason. I think they were cutting their losses. I think they were very concerned about some of the things that were going to come out in terms of discovery, not only in terms of the lawsuit with Dominion, which has now been settled, but also other lawsuits that Fox News still faces.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't help your credibility when you're promoting the stolen election, but in private communications, you're like, this is ridiculous. It's not real. It's not true. I mean, especially something as dangerous to the country is that topic.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Tucker, it strikes me, you look back at his career, he's really been a chameleon. You can be a chameleon working for CNN, for MSNBC, and for Fox. That tells you a lot about that individual, that you can sort of maneuver your way to the various audiences that watch those networks.
He was confident. He didn't think this could possibly happen. Even at the end of the show on Friday, bringing pizza in. He ordered pizza. They ate pizza, and he said,
there you go.
I'll see you on Monday. And, boy, that, didn't happen. But, here's a guy that has a huge audience. My guess is he'll find a way to land on his feet.
Yep, you might be right. You might be right about that. We'll watch and see what happens. Maybe Newsmax picks him up.
Yeah,
but they got to pay a big salary to pick him up.
No doubt about it. John Decker, as always, have a great week. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bill. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
You do the same. John Decker from Gray TV. It's it for us. We got to go. WIBX Utica Rome. I'm not even going to say it. We might be back tomorrow. I hope we are. I mean, it's possible.
You know what?